not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. It is Thursday, June 26, 2025, and it is that time again. I know it's crazy. Can you guys believe we are more than halfway through the year? So what does that mean? We start back in school in late July. The advocates are raising money for homeless kids to have school supplies. Not the old Trapper John. You guys remember the old Trapper folders? All your favorite backpacks. And no, we're talking about basic necessities like underwear and socks, pants, t-shirts, the basic necessities like school supplies, papers, pencils. So let's hook it up today on the show. As always, when we ask you to pay us, we're going to pay you. We never ask you to do the things that we don't do. And on a regular basis, we ask you to contribute to the advocates in their efforts to help homeless kids and less fortunate kids. And we are doing that again because, as I tell you every year on this show, it seems like homelessness is not just a adult problem. That much is very clear. You have kids in our communities that are fighting for their own existence. They are sleeping in homeless shelters like the Road Home, one of the best shelters in the entire country. They have kids in their shelters. There are kids in shelters across this country who have no idea what a home is, who don't know where their next meal is coming from, let alone have a backpack, have shoes, coats, jackets, hats, pencils, papers, maybe I know, let's get crazy, maybe a folder that they can carry around school to feel normal. Get on Venmo like you're the Big 12. Get on Venmo and make a donation. I mean, $1, $100, $1 million. If you've got it in your wallet and in your heart, you make sure that you send it on Venmo to the advocates. Advocates donations on Venmo. I just cannot tell you the money we raise on this show, what a difference it makes and how much it impacts the kids in your communities. It is a big, big deal. It is a big, big deal when you have a homeless kid who doesn't fit in at school because you're already insecure. You know the bullying, you know the culture that can be pervasive in some schools when a kid isn't dressed like everybody else, when a kid maybe doesn't have access to a shower, and maybe he doesn't smell great. His hair is dirty. His clothes are dirty. Maybe he's not wearing underwear in school. Like, it's that kind of stuff that we have a chance to put an end to. All you have to do is make a donation on Venmo. Today, we will give away one $50 Amazon gift card, as we always do. And all you have to do is make the memo section on Venmo count. That's what it is on this show. You guys know when we do donations, the memo section wins and loses on this show. Pretty straightforward.
Yes.
There is a human being that reads those memo sections. I will remind you of that. All right, let's rock and roll. On the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates. Welcome to the nightmare. Good afternoon, fellas. Looking forward to a great show. Hello. Great program. Hello. Hit the PayPal, like button. How big of a deal is this for the Big 12? Because the Big 12's doing business, and I got to tell you, the press release is nothing short of scintillating that we got from the Big 12 today, and I think it is absolutely everything that you want. And the deal, if you did not hear it, the Big 12 has partnered with PayPal and Venmo to distribute funds to its athletes in this new era of college sports. The Big 12 is going to use PayPal and Venmo to pay its players. And it is a multi-million-dollar deal for Brett Yormark and the Big 12. And where I come down on this, it's sensational. It's spectacular. It's everything you want to be doing. And it's why, again, I tell you, Brett Yormark is the best commissioner in all of college sports this side of Greg Sankey. There is just no way to argue that everything having to do with the business of college athletics, Brett Yormark is dominating it. International play, international reach, branding deals, marketing deals, entertainment events and venues, you name it, Brett Yormark has absolutely done it. But Jake, does this deal with PayPal and Venmo usurp the importance of winning games on the field for the Big 12?
No, I mean, I don't think it changes anything in terms of the conference and the outlook of the conference on the football field. I do think that this is the kind of innovation and creativity that conferences need to be, coming up with paying players. I mean, the idea that you said to yourself, okay, we have a house settlement coming in 14 months, and we need to come up with a partner on this to distribute that money to our student athletes. I think it's brilliant. And I got to be honest with you, before I ever heard Brett Yormark talk about this, the first thing that came to my mind was, hey, Venmo is on every 20-something's phone. Like, every young person uses Venmo in the day-to-day. They send money to their friends. They use it to buy things. Like, Venmo is a bridge to a lot of different things for young people. So to me, this makes perfect sense, but it doesn't change anything as far as the football field is concerned. I do think that it could really help you if you're winning conferences and winning a lot of games and going to the CFP. Like, that partnership and helping push that partnership forward is obviously going to be really important. So I just think that this was a really good deal. It was nice that the Big 12 came up with this and sort of championed it. Like, it would have been easy for them to just sit on the sideline and not really do anything. So I think they deserve a lot of credit for the creativity and the forward thinking, because again, Brett Yormark has talked all about how they worked with PayPal and they've been trying to find a way to fit PayPal into the ecosystem, and this is how they did it. So I think it's an absolute win. I think it's really nice to see leadership in college football doing something outside of the box, and we'll see how it works out.
Well, and I think the other part of this is the Big 10 and the Big 12 jointly released this statement, and PayPal and Venmo jointly released this statement in conjunction with the Big 12 and the Big 10. The Big 12 and the Big 10 are in business together, which is unbelievable. And I know I tell you all the time here on the show, I would never tell you I told you so. But how many times am I going to say these conference commissioners talk to each other on a regular basis? I think this is nothing short of a stroke of genius. I think young people, old people, we use Venmo on a regular basis. Hell, we're talking about it today on the show. I never even put that together with the advocates, right? Like, it's here. It's easy. It's what young people use. And now the Big 12 and the Big 10 are going to disperse their payments to their athletes through PayPal and Venmo. They're going to allow them to buy tickets. They're going to allow you to buy tickets, concessions. Like, PayPal and Venmo are now going to be the official payment partner in all venues in the Big 12 and the Big 10. It makes an incredible amount of sense. And I think it is nothing short of sensational coming from the Big 12.
Yeah, and I think you listen to Brett Yormark talk about this, and there's a lot of passion there. He obviously cares about it. The Big 12 obviously is trying to push this forward and work with it and be creative and I guess be a conference that athletes want to be a part of, because I think it's easy to just be like, oh, well, it's the Big 12. Of course they'd want to be in the Big 12, but I don't think it's that easy of an assumption. I don't think, that's the right way to be going about it. And I think deals like this that I would call like, yes, this is a huge deal that the Big 12 and the Big 10 and PayPal have come together. to do this, but this isn't like, hey, OG, like just a sponsor is paying to be seen on a football game kind of deal. This is very much like a, outside of the box, no one really saw this coming type deal.
Yeah.
And that to me, I think is exciting. And I think when you look at the commissioners in college football, and you compare and contrast them, listening to Brett Yormark, you get this sense of like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. And this guy, clearly is educated, prepared, like looking for ways to make his conference money. So I just think it just struck me as, hey, you were looking for opportunities, trying to figure something out, and you were able to put this together.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I don't know how you spin this into anything negative for the Big 12. And I think that it is exactly what this new world of college football and college sports across the board, and the money that it takes to move, you needed a payment option. I don't think you can just do here's your check, or hey, here's your direct deposit. I think you needed a partnership, because this is going to offset that cost.
Certainly.
And I think when you look at what the Big 12 is doing, I mean, obviously my opinion is that the conference is going to have a mediocre football year. I think BYU is going to backslide. I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen with Jake Retzloff yet. We've talked all about the Baylors and the TCUs and the Texas Techs. I think Utah is going to have a really strong, return, but is that a 10, 11, 12 return? Probably not. Right. So can Arizona State do what they did with Scatabo without him? Probably not. Like, I think there's a lot of unknowns in this conference, yet they're still making money and they're still doing deals. And in my opinion, this offsets that. And then you listen to Brett Yormark talk about what this deal means. I think you can see he's quite enthusiastic about it.
Over the last 14 months, we've been on an incredible journey with PayPal, trying to find out where they could enter the ecosystem. And with RevShare and how ubiquitous PayPal and Venmo are on campuses and in collegiate athletics lives of our student athletes, it made incredible sense to have them partner with us as we pay our student athletes. When you think about PayPal and Venmo, the first and second most popular mobile payment apps in the U.S. There's 400 million customers globally when you think of consumers and merchants. So it just made so much sense, given how they already infuse campus life. I was given a number the other day. There's 19.8 million student athletes across the country, and almost half currently use Venmo. And we needed a platform and a partner that was safe and reliable. And we found it with PayPal and Venmo. And Alex, I want to thank you and your entire team for all your hard work and for being on this journey with us. And it's a great day today for the Big 12, our student athletes, our campuses, the families of our student athletes. So thank you so much.
And it's not accidental. He made that announcement on CNBC. Like, you want to do business, go to where business people are operating. And I think when you look at Brett Yormark talking to people, I think it is very interesting that he did this on CNBC. Mm-hmm. It's a national platform. It puts him in front of people that are there only to talk about money. Like, the whole thing is just an unequivocal win for Brett Yormark in the Big 12.
Yeah, and I think it's smart. Like, I think having those stats, like if you think about like 19 million student athletes, like that's not a number you typically hear most people throwing around. Like, when's the last time you heard a talking head bring up the fact that there's almost 20 million student athletes? And you're sitting here talking about a platform that's on most of their phones already. Like, it just makes sense. And I don't mean to wax on about it, but I saw this and I felt like, listen, we're in the slow time of the sports here as far as these conferences are concerned. And obviously deals like this don't get done during the football season, but it's just nice to see something other than, hey, we've got NIL issues. The house is burning down. The conference sucks. Who's getting fired? Like, I just felt like it was nice to see a positive story in a win. And I think the only other question that remains with this is just how it's used in practical terms in the real world, because you can't tell me that like, because there's all this talk going on about like how these different conferences are going to not only pay their student athletes, but what the contracts look like.
Yeah.
And like, there's all this sort of smoke around that. And I think, it's great to do this deal. My personal, interest in it though, is how does it get used in the real world? They will pay them through this. Yes. But is there a student athlete, just as an example, that would say, well, maybe, I want to get paid this way or that way? Is that a negotiating piece that schools will end up having to deal with? Or, is it just, Venmo's cool and I'll just transfer to my bank account and that's fine? Like, those are the things that interest me as we move through this.
Well, but isn't that why the other component is, okay, well, I just got my money from the school in my Venmo account. But that's why all across campuses, they're going to have the ability to pay for things with Venmo. Bookstores, tickets, groceries, health and human services, like all across campuses. In the Big 12, the main payment system will now be PayPal and Venmo. It's brilliant because you're putting money in their Venmo account and you're telling them, spend it on our campus. Easy to do that. Spend it on our campus. That's what you're saying. And you look at the what was the other thing that they were promoting today? The Venmo MasterCard.
Mm-hmm.
All these kids, all the student athletes get a Venmo MasterCard now. So you don't even have to have it on your phone, or you can put it in your virtual wallet. Like it's so easy, man. I don't know. I don't mean to wax on and just knee pad Brett Yormark, but this deal makes too much sense.
Yes.
It makes too much sense. It's so easy. And then again, I think one of the biggest things here is now you're in business with PayPal, Venmo, and the Big Ten, because the Big Ten's doing the exact same thing.
And
I
how
think
much
it
do you
is.
think that matters though? Like, because
I think it's really big.
Obviously, the Big Ten and the SEC have this alliance, and now obviously this would be like the first time the Big Ten has done business with another conference recently. So I mean, and we've heard that the Big Ten and the SEC have been, negotiating, if you want to call it that. So I just think it'll be interesting to see how negotiating terms and vibes between the SEC and the Big Ten continue to trend forward. The last thing the SEC and the Big Ten want, I would guess, is for things to sour between the two. But the reality is these two conferences don't have a choice but to do business with the other conferences. So it'll be interesting to see how they find that balance.
Well, and again, I think you look at this Big Ten SEC schism over 5-11 or what format or all this stuff about strength of schedule being in the hammer in the college football playoff qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now the Big Ten just announced a massive deal with the Big 12. But let's be honest, that's not because of what's going on with the college football playoff. This has been, what did Yormark just say there, 18 months in the making? I mean, this is not something that just happened in the last month. But I think what it says is that Tony Batiti and Brett Yormark have a good relationship. As we've told you, Brett Yormark routinely talks to Tony Batiti, Jim Phillips, Greg Sankey.
Yeah.
They all talk on a regular basis. And I think it's one of those things where this is just another indicator that the Big 12, and again, I'm going to continue to beat this drum. The Big 12 is not doing everything it can do to win every snap in or rep in football.
Mm-hmm.
They are not. I think there are a few schools in this conference, BYU being one of them, obviously Joey and Texas Tech being another of them. I would say Utah being one of those, but there are very few schools in this conference doing every single thing they can do to win every single rep. And then there's everybody else who I just don't think is. And I'll sit here again and say, what's the brand on the field? What's the biggest brand in the SEC? Georgia or Alabama? What's the biggest brand in the Big Ten? Not close, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest brand in the ACC? Florida State or Clemson. What's the biggest brand in the Mountain West? Boise State. Like, we can play this game until you get to the Big 12. What's the biggest brand in the Big 12?
Right now, probably Arizona State, honestly, after their success last year.
Well, if that's the case, you're in more trouble than I thought.
Well, what were you going to say?
I think it's probably in recent times, Utah. They've had the most success in recent times, right? I mean, with back-to-back Rose Bowls, and sure, Arizona State went to the college football playoff. Maybe it's Arizona State, right? But I know who it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Houston. It's not Oak State. It's not Baylor.
UCF.
It's not UCF. It's not BYU. It's not Cincinnati, right? Like there's no big dog. And that's still the singular biggest issue. It's great that Brett Yormark I think he's dominating the business side of this, breaking up basketball and football into different units. Sales, they have completely different sales operations than you do with basketball and football. They're totally separate. Like you have totally different things happening, and yet we don't have a brand in the conference for football.
Right.
We obviously basketball is totally different. Kansas and Houston, those are the two biggest brands in college basketball in this conference. And maybe in recent times, Houston is the biggest brand in college basketball, right? I mean, just a dominant performance. But look what you're getting out of not even the SEC. Look what you're getting out of the Big Ten last year. A resurgent year in basketball. My belief is the ACC will be back, but how do you recover from losing Cooper Flagg? Right? So you have all these questions. And yet the Big 12 doesn't have a football brand. It's a little scary to me. And I don't mean to be redundant. I'm not trying to, poo-poo any of this big news today, because this is a big deal. A very big deal. You got to win football games. And again, we look at the issues in this conference. I am telling you, this Jake Retzloff problem at BYU, that as we told you when it happened, we're probably not going to hear about it again until we get to fall camp, and maybe Jake is there and maybe he's not. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea what's happening with that, because nobody in Provo is talking about it. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Freedom USA 1982. Utes are going to get their ass kicked in 25. Utah is zero talent. Okay. We're going to have this kind of show again today. Utah is zero talent. Tell me you know absolutely nothing about football. And you gave us $5 and you're a BYU fan. Probably should have known that. BYU is going to crush the Utes this year. Might want to find a quarterback first. And you might want to find a defensive line who can get to the quarterback for Utah as well, because Utah's got easily a top 5 offensive line unit. Now, I know they don't have any talent on that team, but Utah's got one of the best offensive lines in the country. They've got the best right tackle in the country, and Spencer Fano. Let's not do this BS where we're like, oh, BYU's the greatest thing ever and Utah sucks ass. And I appreciate you giving me $5. Why are you texting me during the show? Jake is texting me during the show. You're fired.
No.
Let's not do this whole thing where Utah sucks. If your opinion truly is that Utah has no talent, I invite you to find the door, because you just don't fit here. And then there's Sal Capone, who's been a member of the show for 9 months. Hello, Sal. Good to see you, sir. He says, hi, ladies. He's talking to you, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're all mad I said that? Okay. Let's see. Okay. We're not going to air it out. Okay, that's fine. Timothy O'Hara, BYU Mountain Westbound, because I can't keep a quarterback from sexually assaulting women. Well, we don't know that he sexually assaulted anybody. But what we've said on this show about Jake Retzloff, I think is ring true. I know that's shocking. We were right. You can't have Jake Retzloff as your starting quarterback at BYU. It's as simple as that. The honor code, the church, the fundamental, the theology, all of it that makes BYU what it is does not allow for Jake Retzloff to be their quarterback.
Yep.
So, Joey B. San Marcos, Texas, because you could use a PayPal or a Venmo deal. They certainly could. Mike Smith, have not seen the money or the years for the Big Ten deal yet. Neither have I. I don't think we know the exact details on anything in this deal. But you don't need to because you know it's a moneymaker. You know it's a moneymaker. Jesse Crum, coming soon. Stadium James will review how effective PayPal and Venmo work in every stadium.
I'm sure there will be a lounge that he can do a video on.
The eye patch looks like an emotionally unhinged, obsessed TDS fan made an appearance. It drives me crazy. I cannot. It doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't.
It's not funny.
It's not, because it just tells me you know nothing about football. And I'm here to joke about whatever you want, but BYU's great. Utah sucks. If the best you have is Utah sucks, you've got nothing. Like, you've got nothing, and it drives me crazy. Jimmy Otson, Brett Yormark, pretty smart guy. As it turns out, Brett Yormark,
dude,
better than George Kliavkoff. Probably not saying much. PayPal moving their headquarters to Lubbock. Pew pew. Is that right? I did not know that. Looks like PayPal going to get a IPF soon. Also, dude. Gumby. You know, Alex looks a little sketchy. Okay. Yormark, the businessman, the Big 12 needs. My hope is that you have multiple 10-win teams in this league this year, which is going to be tough because there's a lot of what most of us consider to be the top of the table in Big 12 football. They're going to run into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think you have real fundamental issues. Again, I think BYU is a great example of this. The Jake Retzloff situation really sucks. It comes at a really bad time for BYU, because he was, I think if Jake Retzloff had been able to be fully focused and in the position at BYU, I think he would have been a Heisman candidate. I've heard so many good things about his mechanical development, about in the offense for another year, like full command again. They designing offense, designing schematics specifically to fit his game. Like, he was going to have a monster year. So, and it's not that they don't have other talent. They're deep at quarterback. You don't have another Jake Retzloff on that roster. And that's, for the Big 12, that's an issue. That is an issue. Kurt Myers says you guys are freezing up. Are we freezing up? I don't think we're freezing up.
I didn't report any issues to us.
Mike Smith, who you changed your avatar again. I like it. No freezing here yet. Okay, good. Yeah, you know, log off and log. Yeah, hey, IT guy, my computer is on fire. Okay, why don't you go ahead and just restart?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Let's restart that computer. The one that's on.
Is trying to plug it in, Monty?
Is it fully flamed or just it's smoking? Go ahead and restart.
And then dump some water on it and try to turn it on and see if that fixes it.
Don't you love it? No matter what's wrong with your computer. Hey, bro, did you restart that thing? Yeah, like 5 times. Well, go ahead and give it a restart again. All right.
Tell you what, I can't figure this out. Submit a new ticket. We'll get back to you in 5 business days.
Can you submit a ticket to the IT desk about this? I've never seen a computer light on fire, and you've said you've restarted it. Go ahead and submit a ticket.
Yeah.
That's what they always tell you to do. Go ahead and restart that thing, bud. Okay. John Famlor. Our university is going to be offering tax preparation help because it's going to be such a shock if these athletes need to maybe start filing taxes in multiple states. It is very interesting. The structure of this deal is not going to have them. It's not 100%, but as it's been explained to me, you're not paid per game. Like in the NFL, you get a game check. You're not paid per game in college football. So, if Utah goes to Lubbock, they're not paying taxes in Texas. Utah players won't be paying taxes in Texas. Or if, pick your matchup. If Arizona goes to Boulder,
whoever it might be.
Yeah, they're not paying, you're not paying taxes on your road games. ACC West Coast Commissioner Gumby, cash me outside. How about that? Man, do you remember that girl and how hot that, for a moment, that is.
And she's still online somewhere, if I remember correctly.
But, she is. She's on OnlyFans.
Oh, is she?
She made, didn't the cash me outside girl make like I don't remember how many, like multi-millions.
Some insulting amount of money.
On her 18th birthday. We did that story on the show.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, she got paid. Sergeant Morhew, drunken speculation. Okay, are we talking about like vodka drunk, or are we talking about like Fireball in 100-degree heat on the golf course drunk?
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Very different things. Or are you just on a PBR binger? Because those three things are very different drunken speculation.
Like, for instance,
ESPN will partner with the Mountain West thanks to Dan Mullen's connections. Tell me SEC fans aren't interested in following his journey. Oh, I think you would have to be. I mean, you're more interested in finding the handsy wife, but
that downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
Do you guys remember what show was that? That it was like a Hard Knock style show for Florida. And dude, she had her hands all up in their business.
The one they were doing on NBC for a time where they did Florida State and Liverpool. They also did Florida.
And she was just hands on the beef.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Right? Like, awkward. But who knows? And we've talked about this at length as well. When you look at the Mountain West TV deal, I think everybody, and this is not a slight to the Mountain West, everybody is going to be on ESPN's new ESPN product, which is their direct-to-consumer. You don't need cable. You don't need Dish. You can just subscribe to ESPN and get all their programming. Right? So I think the Pac-12 will get a piece of that. I think the Mountain West will get a piece of that. But again, as we reported exclusively here on the show yesterday, and I had some interesting conversations this morning about this, I'm really trying to understand how close is the Pac-12 CBS deal to what the Mountain West had with CBS, had with CBS. I think it is very close, almost identical. I think it's very close. The Paramount Plus thing, you can't have CBS Sports Network on Paramount Plus. Like, I think it's very close. Very, very close. So we'll see. I don't even think it's drunken speculation that the Mountain West will be on the ESPN platform, because it will be. My guess is, and I'll continue to say, I think CBS in the Pac-12, it'll be CBS. I think it'll be the C-Dub. And I think it will be somebody like ESPN streaming. That's my guess. For the Mountain West, I don't know that their deal even changes that much. I don't know that it will change very much at all.
Right.
So we'll see, though. Only time will tell. Right, wrong, other. Only time will tell. All right, the Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates. You guys, today, in lieu of the tip jar for the rest of July and August, and I love that you guys tip us. It means the world to us. It pays for a lot of stuff that we do. Our equipment, we just bought new HDMI cables. Like, it pays for a lot of stuff when you guys tip us in the tip jar. But for the next 5 weeks, we are all about helping homeless kids with school supplies, basic necessities, things like clothes to go to school, things, and I'm not even kidding, socks, underwear, clothing, school supplies, pens, paper, pencils, backpacks, the things that we all take for granted because we're the 1%ers in the world. 1 in 5 kids in your community are homeless. Let that sink in. 1 in 5 kids in your community is hungry. Now take that to the next level. A homeless kid who's at the road home. Like here where we live, the road home is a homeless shelter. They do miracle work. I cannot even describe to you the yeoman's work, the thankless, invisible work that the road home does for homeless, especially homeless kids. Those kids are helpless. They can, quite literally helpless. They cannot help themselves. And they're either at a shelter like the road home, or they're on the street where all kind of bad things happen. Let's help them as much as we can. And you guys, seriously, $1, $5, $1 million. anything that you have in your heart and in your wallet, I ask you, get on Venmo, Advocates Donations. Every dollar you donate to the Advocates, they're going to turn around and give that right to the road home. They're going to put that right back on the street to help homeless kids with the basic necessities to get them through a school day. That's what we're talking about. And I just ask you, I know we do this 3 times a year, and I know you probably feel like we beat you over the head with it. That's why I always say, when you give to us, we're going to give to you. We're going to give you Amazon gift cards. We are going to absolutely reward you for helping us to raise money for homeless kids. So I ask you, get on Venmo, make a donation, such as and like, of course, Maury Alvarez is the first one in. Monty Show kids, Big 12 finding new ways to send money. Exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right. And Maury in not only with $10, but $15. Monty Show kids, I like the NES game cartridge. You need to shake it, blow in it, and spank it on the back. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what sets your world on fire,
okay.
You need to shake it, blow in it, and spank it on the back. The memo section's undefeated on this show. And I will just again say,
I don't know what we're supposed to say to that.
That is
spank it in the back.
Spank it on the back.
On the back. My bad. Sorry.
I like the NES game cartridge. You need to shake it, blow in it, and spank it on the back.
And just kind of scruff it and play with it when it's wet.
I mean, listen, Maury, you do what you think you need to do.
Y'all want to play.
Maury, obviously now with the spank it on the back, he's in the lead for the $50 Amazon gift card. And I say, Maury, more power to you, dude. Maury's got kids. He's a great BYU fan. He lives in Florida. I say, knock it down. Maury, you're the perfect example. Imagine if your kids didn't have clothing or like, think about your kid. Everybody, if you have kids, think about your kids or your grandkids or like there. And I tell this story every year when we do this. I went to school with a kid who was homeless. He did not have money. And I found out about it in a horrifying way because he came to school without underwear on. And I don't remember how it happened, but this was like 7th grade, I think. And he got bullied for that. And I just remember I was riding my bike home with a group of friends, and he was walking around on the side of the road. And we lived in a very nice neighborhood. We lived in a little town called Lincolnshire, Illinois. And this kid did not have what he needed. And I will never forget, I asked him to come to my house. We went home, and my mom caught me giving him underwear. That's how bad I felt. And that's why I tell this story. And it was that day when my mom was talking to him that we found out he was homeless. He was living in his parents' van in a trailer park by my house. And it was the craziest thing. Like, I lived in a really nice neighborhood, and there was I remember it being a trailer park down the road, and his parents were parked there, living in that car at that moment. And it just was, I will never forget being like, what do you mean you don't have a house?
Weird thing. It's kind of like a weird,
because you don't think about it.
Yeah,
man.
you don't expect it.
You don't think about it. So when something like that happens, so at the end of the day, what wound up happening is my mom took him to the store and we bought him a bunch of clothes. And I will never forget, it's probably weird, but I remember if it was like Venture or Walmart or what store it was, but I remember we bought him like 3 packs of underwear. I remember we bought him tan corduroys, and we bought him a bunch of cool t-shirts. You remember those t-shirts when we were kids? Like, I want to say one was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I vividly remember giving him my Dominique Wilkins cartoon shirt. I had this cool caricature shirt of Dominique Wilkins dunking a basketball. And I remember giving that to him. Like, it's just one of those things that always stick with me. So when we do this is why I'm so passionate about it, because it's something I remember. Obviously, when something impacts your life, you remember that. And that's why when we sit here and we talk about this stuff and I say, hey, my friend Gabe was homeless, right? And I probably shouldn't say his name, but now I guess I have. But my friend Gabe was homeless. And that's how I found out about it. And I will never forget how bad I felt for him, because what was happening and what I vividly remember was he was coming out of our classroom. So we had a classroom. You come out of the classroom, you turn left to go to the gym to have lunch. And we're walking down this hallway where they had these double doors to go into the gym. And I'm not even going to say that kid's name. The bully in our school was trying to pull his pants down. Like, that's how stupid kids are.
Right.
Can you imagine being Gabe? And I could not. And I am so glad that we passed him on the road riding our bikes home. So anyway, Maury says bucket of bullets, not so much. Well, probably true. Bucket of bullets is not my dad, by the way. That's my father-in-law. But,
Mama Monty.
Mama. My mom, for everything my mom was not. And my mom is troubled and whatever. My mom was the community mom. You came to my house through my sophomore year in high school. All the kids always came to my house. She always had Capri Suns. She always had fruit roll-ups. She always had, like, if you were hungry, she always fed you. She always made one of my favorite dinners my mom would make 2-3 times a week was mastacholi with red sauce. And she would have, that garlic bread you put in the oven.
Yes.
We had it like 2-3 times a week, mastacholi in the blue pasta box. And we must have had 2-3 kids at my house every day. And she always had food. Whatever you needed. I never even, if I said, hey, can Keith sleep overnight? Yeah, sure. No problem. Right. Like, it just wasn't, my house was where all the kids went. We played wiffle ball in my backyard. Like, my mom let me build a baseball stadium in my backyard when I was a kid. Like a home plate. We put a tarp over it and we broke the neighbor's window. Like, we did it all. We did it all. And I just will never forget telling my mom that Gabe didn't have underwear. And my mom talking to him and finding out he was homeless was just crazy. But, James sent in an entry.
It's ready.
Okay. Jake's checking him. Okay. Oak State James. Monty's kid. UCF tried to pay me to be a fan, but TCU gave me the pro rata I deserved. And a hot wife included, so I had to turn the nights down.
Lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Oh,
James.
he's digging out of...
James,
for those of
I
you
don't
who
believe you, brother.
For those of you new on the show, Oak State James is a rather notorious figure who one time said his wife was not hot.
You are not the guy.
And immediately tried to correct it. So that's what this is about. $20. I appreciate that. All right. We're up to 35. We're trying to, every day on the show, once a week, we try to raise $250 for the advocates and the road home and homeless kids. So we're off to a great start. We are at $35 now. If you have it in your heart, you have it in your wallet, I ask you, get on Venmo. It is advocates donations on Venmo. Whatever you literally $5, $100, whatever you have is great. Joey B. Monty had the best wiffle curveball in the neighborhood. No, dude, I could rake. My win as a kid was I could hit the ball to the moon, and I also could throw. So I was always throwing people out at the plate, which was amazing. So me and my guy Brent Zagorski played like tennis ball, baseball in this field with all the kids. He was always the pitcher. I was always in the outfield, and we were always hosing dudes. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I am telling you, it is. Yeah. All right, let's get in. Maury Alvarez already in the lead with that great donation comment. Exactly right. Wasikowski, Sac State, Montana State, North Dakota State going to the Pac-12. No, Sac State. Sac State lost today. Sac State, if you guys remember, Sac State wanted to go FBS in 2026. And they will not be allowed to do that. And it is a huge loss for Sac State because now we're going to wind up in court, which I think is just such BS. It is really unfortunate that Sac State will not be allowed to be FBS this next year. Like I think it's one of the most damaging decisions where common sense clearly should have prevailed. Why do we care if Sac State wants to be an FBS independent in football? Why does anybody care? I don't understand it. And if somebody wants to explain it to me, I'm all ears. But it is wild to me that here we are again with Sac State making a massive financial commitment, facilities, humanity, infrastructure, doing it the right way, hiring good people, great athletic director, great president, great staff, great educators. Now we're not going to let you be an FBS independent. Kick rocks. Why? What like on what earth does it make sense to tell Sacramento State they can't do this? I don't understand it. And their folks are pissed off, as they should be. The president at Sac State's a guy named Dr. Luke Wood, who we've asked on the show a million times. Sacramento State has met every meaningful benchmark for FBS membership, and we believe our university, our students, and the entire Sacramento region deserve major college football. We're full steam ahead, and we still plan on playing FBS football in 2026. Why would you prevent them from doing that? If anybody wants to help me understand that, because I honest to God, I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense at all, even a little bit.
I just am. I'm perplexed by it. It just is. It's crazy.
And if you want to have a conversation about, allowing them to go FBS and then how that's going to impact things, okay, that's fine.
But they've more than exceeded the level that you need. The rule is you have to have an invitation from an FBS conference to be elevated into FBS stature. And they don't have an invitation from an FBS conference. So they went independent. And where are they going? The Big West, I think it is now, but the Big West doesn't have football. Sac State is going to be in every sport in the Big West. Football is an independent. And they're like, we're the NCAA. We're going to make the wrong decision as usual. So why don't you guys go ahead over there in the corner and kick some rocks? Good luck. Like that's essentially what the NCAA said.
That way.
And I can't for the life of me understand. And if you've got insight into it, please feel free to comment. I will not for the life of me understand why you would say to Sacramento State, no, you cannot be an FBS independent. Why? Are you saying they can't schedule? But that's not your problem. Are you saying they're not going to make money? That's not your problem. They have shown you they have business acumen. They know what they're doing. They know how to do the job. So let them do the job. It just makes no sense. So what are we going to do now? We're going to pay more lawyers because that's what we do. We litigate. We absolutely litigate.
Yes.
And I just will say, I do not understand it. And I'm telling you guys, having lived in Sacramento, having spent professional time there as a journalist and a sports talk radio host, having lived in the Bay Area, the Sacramento region they're well-heeled. They've got a ton of money. They've got a ton of business, a ton of industry, great humanity. It's everything you want to be in business with. Unless it just isn't by the letter of the law of the rule book and we're just not willing to do common sense things.
Nope.
That's what this feels like to me. And I'll just never understand. Yeah, dude, I'm not even joking. Sac State could easily become, It's not going to be in the short term because, again, the hill to climb, as we've seen, no better example, Utah to the Pac-12, that takes time, right? And I just don't, I don't know. I guess I'm not smart enough. I don't know. I guess I just don't get it. Timothy O'Hara, why would you want to talk about glorified street ball draft? NBA suck. No, it doesn't. NBA is fantastic. This Austin Reeves story with the Lakers, that does not suck.
No, it does not.
That does not suck in any way, shape, or form.
I think people don't like the NBA draft because you just don't pay enough attention to college players. You don't know, you don't understand this whole concept around Ace Bailey. You don't understand now that it's being reported on X 3 minutes ago that Ace Bailey allegedly told 2 teams in the top 5 he wouldn't report to camp if they drafted him. Like there's news there, dude. That there's good stuff there.
I don't know what the Jazz were thinking. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. I truly do not. I don't understand it. And I wish I understood it. I don't. I wish I understood it, but I don't. And why they drafted Ace Bailey, I do not know. Now, the Jazz pretty much won the first round of the NBA draft last night.
I mean, as a basketball player, he's fine. But the nonsense around I'm only going to play for certain teams and like just the, it's amazing to me that Shedeur Sanders, did less of this and got 1,000,000 times more heat. Yeah. This kid did way more of it and no one's really talking about it.
Yeah, this kid essentially went to battle and said, I'm not going to play for it of these teams, the Charlotte Hornets and the Utah Jazz. I'm not going to work out for anybody. Draft me and I won't report. And they drafted him anyway.
Isn't that what they said about Shedeur? Wasn't that the claim that Shedeur would only play for certain teams and you better not draft him if you're not one of those teams, and he wouldn't show up and work hard and do, fulfill his end of the bargain essentially. Like that's what the word was.
Here we go.
What did you just say 3 minutes ago?
What did I tell you? Monty's always right.
Now, I know that on this show, we would never say I told you so.
According to sources, Pete Thamel at ESPN reporting, Sacramento State has retained prominent antitrust and sports attorney Jeffrey Kessler, who has been helping the school in its efforts to move to FBS football. Kessler is exploring legal avenues after the NCAA's decision to deny Sac State a waiver to play FBS football. You knew it was only a matter of time. And here we go, paying lawyers. I've got nothing against lawyers. What I have a problem with is your money being spent on lawyers instead of student athletes. And that's all this does, which is what usually happens with the NCAA. Like it is
facts, bro.
It is wild to me, whether it's the Pac-12 and the exiting members of the Mountain West suing, and we're just paying lawyers for how many decades in the Pac-12? It's what we do. It's what Michigan did. It's what all bad business people do. Their first instinct is to pay lawyers and sue somebody instead of finding a more righteous and straightforward solution.
Yes.
And you never win. You never win. I'm telling you.
It's ridiculous.
Man, I can't even.
The problem is there's not a good reason to deny the waiver, and that's why you're going to get sued.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, man. It makes me crazy because it just should not be happening. There's no reason to pay to throw all this money out the window. Jeffrey Kessler is a hell of an attorney. Do you know how much he costs?
A lot.
I mean, all you're doing here, all the NCAA is doing here is damaging Sacramento State. For what? Again,
a lot.
Yeah, billable hours always win.
Dude, facts.
Undefeated billable hours. And yes, I think the Jazz got an A- in the draft. I think they did too. If Ace Bailey, he's got it. Has there ever been an NBA draft pick that's got more red flags than Ace Bailey?
Or red pants?
Okay, you could go there too. It's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because the Jazz, all the Jazz seemingly do is miss in the draft.
Listen, he's a great talent on the floor. All you need to do is get him to play for you. That's it. You'll be fine.
Famler says with Ace Bailey is the issue. He wants a team where he can light up the scoreboard from day one. The real issue to me is he has a very thin frame. Can he build to better shots, or will he avoid hits? I think he is an unbelievable scorer. And I have no doubt he's going to be a bucket getter. There's just no Ace Bailey's a stud. I worry about whether or not he can hold it together mentally. And I think that is very justified. I think that is...
I think the problem comes in, and I guess we can get into this, but like this conversation around, and it's really twofold. One, college athletes, both in football and basketball, trying to control their future and saying, hey, I'll only play for these teams. That concept has never worked for anybody. And everyone wants to go, oh, Eli Manning. Okay, well, all right, cool. I'll give you one in like 4 million kids. Okay, cool. 99.9% of the time, it does not work well.
And his body is not the problem. Ace Bailey is a physical freak. The guy's a stud. He can score from anywhere. He is a tenacious defender, fantastic on the run, great on the break. It's all mental. It is all mental. And I go back to, I think Walter Clayton Jr. is, you want to talk about a bucket getter. That cat, 6'2", 200, national champion from Florida. A big reason why they won the national championship. Like, the run that he's gone on here is ridiculous. He is such a good player. I think he was the best guard in college basketball. Probably from the turn of the year to the end of the Final Four. Obviously you wonder, can he pass the ball and will he ever be a plus defender? Because I don't think he'll ever be a plus defender. But you want a bucket getter? Dude can score. He can absolutely tear it up. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and I think that this whole thing about there's perception versus reality with what the Jazz are doing. And I would agree they deserve credit. These are two solid picks. Yes, there is baggage with Ace Bailey. I agree with that. But to your point, Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr., those are good picks, dude. It's going to be, dude, if those two guys don't work out in the league for 10 years, you really messed it up. Like they would have to, it would either be you committed some heinous crime off the floor and ended your career, or something, something like that. Like, they should work out for you. The problem is, and the problem that I have, is this whole thing where people are like, oh, well, why would he want to go and play in Utah? And, he doesn't want to play there. He doesn't want to play in Charlotte. He wants to play in a major market. And like this whole thing of like all these media pundits like Pat McAfee, just knee padding Salt Lake, and like, some of the secondary talking heads at ESPN, which, by the way, I would also mention, dude, I agree with the people criticizing ESPN for the coverage of the draft, like personality wise. It's not really all that watchable. And this news about Shams not doing what Woj did in years prior, where Woj would tweet out the pick before the pick actually happened. It bothers me that we don't have that anymore, dude. Like, I don't understand. I'm not saying that Shams has to be Woj, but what I am saying is that there are certain things that ESPN used to do around the draft that they don't do anymore that I feel like are really hurting them. Because I can tell you this, we got done with the show yesterday. We had some administrative stuff we had to do, some business stuff or whatever after the show. And other than that, I just followed the draft on Twitter. I didn't watch the broadcast, dude. Like, there was no need to listen to these people talk for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. The NBA draft is paint drying. Shuey Gonzalez for $5. You guys, I beg you. If you're going to tip us for a comment, please do it through Venmo. All of it goes to the advocates. It's really important. We are trying to help homeless kids have the basic necessities for school. And Chewy, I really appreciate the $5, dude. Absolutely, I do. Please do it through Venmo. Advocates donations on Venmo is where we're asking you send all of your tip jars. If you're going to give memberships today, please consider doing it through Venmo. Advocates donations. As for your paid comment, sounds like anti-competitive behavior to not let Ball Sack State go FBS. See what he did, Ball Sack.
We clear on that?
See what he did, dude.
Ball sack.
Yeah. Ball. Okay.
Yeah.
It is, and that's why they hired that lawyer, right? Broadcast. There was a draft broadcast. That's how it feels at this point. ESPN's draft coverage has been terrible over the past couple of years. Because I don't know how you make it not terrible. You knew one name in this draft, and it was Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, but I think that I don't disagree with that. This draft was definitely capture the flag and everybody else, no doubt about it. But you can make your draft coverage like more watchable. Like with all due respect, I don't want to hear Kendrick Perkins. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm just not a Kendrick Perkins guy. The person.
I'm also not a Charles Barkley guy.
Yeah,
I'm also not a
Barkley guy. Like I think what they ask Malika to do is really suitable for her. You don't really get her opinion a ton, and I'm fine with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like dude, you have one of the best, cap guys, NBA guys in like Bobby Marks, and like you obviously have Bob Myers. Like you have dudes around that could probably give you like some really good legs when you're getting into the later round that nobody cares about. And you could start talking about, Reeves and the Lakers and whatever, like you get the picture, you know what they do on the NFL draft, right? Like there's all type of conversation around the NFL draft and what teams are doing and what they're not and yada, 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 yada. Like we know what that looks like. So I wish ESPN, they need to figure it out a little bit. Is my point.
I agree. And I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. Because I don't much care about anything other than the first 15 picks. That's it. So Jeremiah Champion. Today seems like a tame day compared to the rest of the week. Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first chill day of the week.
We were due, right?
No
we
doubt.
were
I mean,
due.
We were due.
Mike Chase. What's up, Mike? Wow, where have you been, dude? Hope the kids are well. Hey, guys, finally able to catch a live show. You guys do great work. I appreciate you. Thank you. Eric Wasikowski, what's the update on Santana from Pittsburgh? You mean like the fight in the bullpen, Santana? So this cat, he's a pitcher. Dennis Santana climbed a bullpen wall in Detroit and punched fans. And it's unclear. We're hearing that the fans in Detroit were throwing things at Santana in the bullpen. And Michael Hill from Major League Baseball, he's a vice president on-field operations, announced that they had suspended Santana for his behavior. But from what we hear, the fans also had done background research. So this is the kind of scumbags that you're getting in ballparks now. They had done homework on Santana. They were throwing food at him, and they were insulting his dead father. And so he climbed the bullpen wall, got into a physical altercation with them. And I don't condone him climbing the wall. But why is it okay for scumbags like this to taunt professional athletes? Because now we've seen this multiple times recently with Ketel Marte.
Yeah, I mean,
Chicago.
obviously it's not okay to climb the wall and punch someone in the face, but I have to say you took it to that realm by insulting his dead father. That's probably not what I would be doing. So,
yeah, I don't.
I understand the suspension on some level, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Like, come on.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be crazy to me. Like, somebody's going to get killed or seriously injured or maimed in one of these situations, because I don't think you understand the massive humanity that major league pitchers specifically. Do you understand how big closers are? Have you ever stood next to a guy like Kenley Jansen? Have you ever stood next to, like, these are huge human beings. And when you're a scumbag and you start insulting their dead families, you kind of deserve what you get. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the old adage. And I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's...
Fuck around and find out.
It's one of the reasons I hate Detroit. Like, the fans in Detroit, a lot of fans in Detroit are great. The vast majority of them are. Detroit has some of the biggest scumbag fans that you will ever meet.
He's got no class.
That you will ever meet. And it's not the Red Wing fans or Lion fans or Tiger
the Red
fans.
Wings don't have fans. I mean,
it's Detroit sports across the board.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, don't even, okay. It should be okay to punch mouthy fans. I guess that's why I don't make the rules. Exactly right. Exactly right, Okie Light. Because, yeah, I'll never understand it. How many NBA second rounders make the squad, and second rounders can easily be waived without guaranteed money? Almost none. Almost none. And that's the problem. Like, all these, we sent them 37 second round picks. Cool. Like,
that's wow. Man.
This idea of forcing kids to play a year of college basketball, did it help? Because we still get guys like Ace Bailey. We still get these guys. Right? I'll never understand it. And I go to, and I guess we're going to debate Pat McAfee today. Is that what I guess? The owner of the Utah Jazz is a guy named Ryan Smith. He went on the Pat McAfee show, and I really hope Pat didn't lose his voice when he was throating Ryan Smith, because that's all this was today.
Watching and reading that narrative kind of take place on the internet, and I don't think it was just Utah I didn't want to. I think there was multiple places. Yeah. You know, I think it was like considered a conversation about Ace leading up. I'm like, there's no way he's ever been to Utah. Ace, I want to let you know, you and I obviously not the same people. I had little to no expectation of Utah. I'm just going to, let's keep it a buck, how it will. Going out to Utah, I was planning on doing show, hotel room, show, plane, get me the hell out of here. Yep. Okay? Get me the hell out of here. You invited me to a game, which is very kind. Hey, the owner of the Utah Jazz would like you to come to a Utah Jazz game tonight. I said, I can't do that. I got a big schedule, big things planned. And then I think Zito was like, hey, you should look up who the owner of the Utah Jazz is. I looked it up. I saw you. And I was like, this is not what I expected out of the Utah Jazz owner at all. I looked into your story. I looked into how you treat people. I looked into everything. And I was like, oh, I'd love to go hang with this guy. And what we got a chance to do is experience Utah. Walked around downtown, got a chance to go out. We saw the people. We saw the building. We experienced everything about it. It's like, this place is amazing. We thought about picking up and moving there. Like that was where we're at.
Shut up. You did not think about picking up. Bros, I live in Salt Lake City. There is no more white town in this country than the state of Utah. And Mrs. Monty and I talk about it all the time. This is a great place to live. But we have massive issues here. Least of which is, I think we're the fourth least affordable market in the country right now. Like, our real estate is essentially, we are the fourth worst place. There's only 3 other worst places to buy a house in Utah right now. We have major societal division in this state. Are you in the church? Cool. You're not? Okay. You're not. Like, We are a very white community. So the idea that Pat McAfee didn't notice that, well, because you're white, dude. You're white. Right? Like, are you out of your mind? Ace Bailey is living in the world of stereotypes. Is Salt Lake City and the state of Utah just all racists and all we do is fly the Confederate flag everywhere? And no, that's not the case at all. It's a great place to live. It's beautiful. Great things to do. The golf's amazing. The mountains are amazing. But if you're a black man that's a multimillionaire, you're probably not going to be the most popular guy in town.
No.
There's going to be some blowback on that. And it's
Ask
one of those
Donovan
things.
Mitchell his thoughts.
It's one of when you want to talk about fans. Do you know how many mouthy fans there are here that just spew racist hate at athletes? It's remarkable.
Hey, Russell Westbrook, your thoughts?
Hey, BYU player versus Utah player.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to me that you have all of this stuff happening and Pat McAfee has no idea what he's talking about. No idea what he's talking about. And again, I think for the majority of people, this is a great place to live. I think if you are a young black guy that's a multimillionaire, you're going to struggle to be comfortable here. Donovan Mitchell is a great example of that. And Donovan tried to make this his home and tried to work in the communities and tried to work with other underprivileged kids, and all he got was flack for it. That's all he got. And I think that is one of the issues with the reputation of Utah. I think the volleyball, the racist volleyball ridiculousness that never happened at BYU, but it happened because people believe it happened because that's the reputation of Utah.
I don't know if maybe I missed it, but I don't think Lauri Markkanen's had too many problems with this. I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
I think it's very interesting. The perception that professional athletes have about playing NBA basketball in Salt Lake City. And I think if you're a guy of color and you're a multimillionaire and you just want to fly under the radar, you'll love Salt Lake City. You'll love Utah. Nobody's going to question your Bentley or your Rolls or your Ferrari. Nobody's going to care about that big house on the hill because there's a bunch of big houses on the hill because everybody here has money. But you want to invest community assets in underprivileged communities? Yeah, now you're a problem. Why are you being a problem? Whoa, underprivileged? That's a racist term. Like, that's what happened with Donovan Mitchell. That's what's happened with so many other people. It's why the Jazz can't get any free agent. It's why they have to trade. It's why they have to draft people like Ace Bailey who say they don't want to play here and they draft them anyway.
Right.
That's the reality of the society we live in. And the hard part is, like, we have very close friends of ours that are Polynesian, and the poly community in Utah and the poly community in the LDS church, prolific, massive. And they are ostracized here. We have Polynesian friends who their kids, they have school-age young children who are taunted as being Mexican. That can be the community here.
It's rough.
It can be. Now, I again will tell you, I don't experience any of that. But I'm also a 52-year-old white guy that drives a BMW. So nobody's going to say two words to me. Right? But I just think that Pat McAfee loves to knee pad people to get in their good graces. That's what that show does. That show, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Smith, whoever you're willing to put on, he will do it. He will do it. Yeah. What color is Pat? Purple polka dot.
Apparently.
Could be.
By the way, and you tell me if I'm wrong, was it the NHL draft that was yesterday or the NBA draft? Because dude's on here wearing a Utah Hockey Club.
A Yeti jersey.
A Tusks Up Mammoth Horny jersey. And it should be a jazz related piece of merch.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, what are we doing, dude?
Jeremiah Champion, husband and I are contemplating moving to Utah. You should. Absolutely should. Utah, listen, Utah's a great place to live, but come in here with your eyes wide open. And there is I don't want to say prolific, there is a large LGBTQ community in Utah and in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake and Utah pride is a big thing. And I don't think this is exclusive to Utah, certainly. But you look at the issues that happen at pride parades, you look at the issue like people routinely here, people steal pride flags, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles here. But it is, don't get me wrong, Utah's a great place to live. I say it all the time. It's a little, it can be, it depends on what your perspective is. If you don't care about societal issues or geopolitical issues, or you'll love it here. You'll coast through. Nobody will say two words to you. Your tax dollars will be given away without your consent. The Mike Lee will just keep getting elected as a senator. No problem. You'll just coast by. You'll coast by. Carl, the mailman Malone, was living large in Salt Lake City. He was a recluse here. And then it came out that him and Larry H. Miller hated each other at the end. And how has that worked out since? So, no, he was not living large in Salt Lake City. He was not. Juju says we should leave then. Okay. Cool, bro. Appreciate the contribution. Oklahoma City is pretty white, but at least has affordable housing. Yeah, Salt Lake does not have affordable housing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem here, frankly. It's become very expensive to live here.
It has.
Like food costs, amenity costs. I mean, really.
All of it, really.
Golf is so expensive here. It's ridiculous. It's the mountains are expensive. The resorts are expensive. The food's expensive. The restaurants are not great. There's maybe 3 or 4 great restaurants here. And the housing is really expensive. Really, really expensive. Salt Lake is probably better than Boston. Boston is a melting pot. I don't think it's not that we're unique in the fact that we deal with inequality issues in Utah. That's not unique.
It doesn't have to be a comparison thing.
No.
Boston's its own unique environment. I'm sure there are pros and cons. Never been. You've been. I haven't been. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is that Pat McAfee on his show is out here saying that he was considering moving to Salt Lake and moving the show. No, you weren't.
He was never going to live here.
It's an absolute scheme, knee padding of that relationship. And the problem is the thing that really bothers me is when they're talking about football, it's listenable. But the thing that bothers me is every single day we're getting further and further and further away from what the show used to be.
Yeah.
And now it's just turned into, you want to be a problem for ESPN. You want to do your own college game day. You don't want to be at ESPN anymore. You gotta get in bed with dudes like Ryan Smith. Like it's just weird, dude. It's weird to me, which is why I don't watch you anymore. Like it's just odd.
It is. I will agree with that. Big Blue Horses. Here's what Salt Lake City offers pro athletes. Limited nightlife. There is very limited nightlife here. Most things are closed by 9. I'm not even joking. Slower pace of life, cold ass winter, great outdoors, hunting, fishing, but that's not for everyone. It is in the NBA, and the 18-year-old, Ace Bailey's 18 years old. What does he have to hang on to here? He's not from here. He doesn't want to be here. It's going to be a tough existence for him here. It is not. It's going to be. Joey B. Monty, you lost me. Now knowing you drive a BMW. Well, it's my wife's BMW. Let's relax. I figured you for a Ram pickup truck kind of guy. No, my full-time ride is a Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. And it's awesome. It's a V8. It's a Hemi. I love it. I love it. Hey, playa, Victor would love it in Utah. Of course he would. He would fit in, and they would name a city after him and give him the keys to the city. I'm sure they would. Oak State James, I bet the Jazz owner probably was really nice to Pat in order to make Utah look good. I'm certain he was.
Sure.
I'm certain he was. Jim Choi, no matter where you go around the world, kids will always denigrate each other. That's life growing up experience. Yeah, I don't know about that.
But okay, let's say that's true, even though I disagree with it. Cool. That's not the conversation.
No.
Dude, the conversation is is that Salt Lake is a very unique proposition. Ace Bailey said he didn't want to play for you. You drafted him, and now you're going to be surprised when he's a pain in your ass.
The hard part is that, and like somebody compared it to Boston. When you walk around Boston, you see dark skin, light skin, you see European folks, Asian folks, white folks, black folks. When you walk around Salt Lake City, you see mostly white people and Polynesian people and some Hispanics.
I would say 8 and 10 are white.
You don't,
off the top of my head.
You might see some Asian folks. You almost never see black folks here. It is very rare. Very, very rare. And I think if you're somebody of dark skin or brown skin and you're looking to raise a family, I don't know how you do that. I would be very nervous here. I would be very, very nervous here. That maybe I just am too sensitive. I don't know. Second largest gay community per capita next to San Francisco. Yeah, the crowd here is the LGBTQ crowd here is fantastic. It is Salt Lake City Pride is awesome. And there is a really supportive, arms open LGBTQ community here. So yeah, it is prolific. Mike Lee repping the Y a couple of weeks ago. What an embarrassment. He's had a bad couple of weeks. You should come to Texas. Plenty of barbecue and tacos. I love it here. Greg Abbott. Jim Choi, looks like Salt Lake City is trying to keep the riffraff out. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean, dude?
See, you guys say stuff like that. Like,
what the hell is the riffraff?
Like, it's wild to me. Jeremiah Champion, I can't and won't speak for others' experiences. You shouldn't. Oh, he said, I actually don't like pride events. I know weird stance considering, but I have actually dealt with more discrimination from the LGBTQ community than not. Yeah. Hey, everybody, there's any lifestyle you want to live here is here. That we can leave it at that. East High was first in the nation to have a pride club. Oh, is that right? I did not know that. Went to Utah a couple of times. Great place to visit. Terrible place to live. Will never live there ever. But I sure as hell will visit, especially for outdoor activities. It's not a bad place to live.
Yeah, I disagree. It's a bad place to live.
It's not a bad place to live. You just have to know how to live here. That's really what it comes down to. But it is what it is. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you take the good and the bad. I mean, Utah doesn't have a whole lot of bad neighborhoods. Utah does not have, you got to go looking for trouble. There's crime here, certainly, but you got to go looking for trouble. You have everything you want in a big city outside of good restaurants, because there are very few here. But, you know, we have some weird laws. Alcohol is very different here. Mm-hmm. Shopping for alcohol is very different here. There's no lotto, and there never will be. Pretty much no gambling, and there likely never will be. But it's not a bad place to live at all. I'm about to build a spec home in the Lehigh area. Lehigh's great.
Nice.
Lehigh's great. Big Blue Horses. People forget that Stockton and Malone split time between Utah and their home states. Very few Jazz players made SLC their permanent homes. No, they don't. And Jordan Clarkson loves it here.
Which, again, I have no issue with. Like I think there's this misconception that like, oh, well, they just expect these dudes to fall in love. And it's like, no, actually, I don't. What I expect you to do, though, is show up for work and give it your best. Like, I expect you to be in the weight room, on the floor, first in, last out type behavior. That's what I expect. And in the off season, get the hell out if you don't want to be here. That's fine. Yeah. I don't have a problem. I don't. I think what's really interesting, and this is the part that I think maybe you guys are losing sight of with this conversation, is it's not really about whether Salt Lake is a good place to live, or like good or bad per se. It's more that players have this perception that there's nothing to do here and it's a bad place to live. That it's just like this religious enclave, and there's
with
nothing
racial
here.
undertones.
With racial undertones, and like and that's not necessarily true. Yes, there's a lot of religion, and yes, there are some issues, but I'll say this: the fans here are as delusional as you're going to find in the NBA, in my opinion. You could be a 10-win team, and that building would be full every single night. Like, which is weird.
They
to
like
me.
$1 hot dogs.
Yeah, it's weird to me, dude. You throw a J Dog's Glizzy discount at them, and they're just fawning over that building.
A J Dog's Glizzy discount.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. When BYU and Utah are good, there's no better football town on the planet than Salt Lake City.
So again, if Ace Bailey, doesn't want to play here because of the community, I guess I understand. If you don't want to play here because you think they suck and you actually want to win, I understand that more. And I think Utah made that bet. I think they haven't been good. And again, the day that Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson get traded before this upcoming season, you guys are, people, I'm going to say I told you so, because we've been saying that for like 2.5 seasons, dude.
Exactly right.
And I just think that Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr., all this is the next wave of guys you're trying to develop until you can start winning again. Because you didn't develop Keontae. Isaiah Collier's got talent, but it seems like I'm not saying they're moving on from him, but why would you draft Walter Clayton if you've got Isaiah Collier already? Like, I don't know.
You don't like the guards you have. That's what you said last night.
That's what you said last night. So,
Yeah, and what I said today is make sure you make your donations to the Advocates on Venmo. Advocates donations. We are trying to raise money for homeless kids so they have their basic necessities to go to school. It is something we do every year at this time. Last year, we raised thousands of dollars. We are starting small, trying to raise $250 today. That's our ask today. We have $215 to go. Maury Alvarez gives 5 more. Make that $210 to go. Monty Show kids, I understand taunting with saying like, we want a pitcher, not a belly itcher, but insulting a dude's dead dad. I am with the player, dude.
I agree.
I agree. Totally agree.
And if I was him, I wouldn't care about the suspension either.
Yeah, that is.
I just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't. Yeah, that's nuts. David E. Persons, for those of us who just got here, what did the Big 12 do that stunned everybody? They drafted Ace Bailey with the no stop. What the Big 12 did today that stunned everybody is they signed a deal with PayPal and Venmo, where they are going to in a deal that's worth multi-millions. They are going to disperse their revenue sharing and their payments directly to players through PayPal and Venmo. And all 16 stadiums and campuses will now accept Venmo as a payment method at stadiums, at bookstores, at grocery stores. You can pay your student fees through Venmo and PayPal. Every student's going to get a Venmo MasterCard. They have gone all in with Venmo and PayPal, and even probably bigger than that, the Big 12 and the Big 10 made this deal and announced it in concert with each other and PayPal and Venmo. I think this is a huge day for the Big 12. I think it is a huge day for Brett Yormark. I think he, again, is showing you why I say, and maybe I'm knee padding now, but this is why I say this guy is the best commissioner, save only Greg Sankey. I think the Big 12 is in great hands. I think the Big 12 business-wise, you start looking at all the things he's done, whether it is the international stuff, separating football and basketball into separate business models, separate sales operations, separate marketing operations, Big 12 Pro Day in Dallas, Big 12 basketball tournament in Kansas City with Shaq as a DJ. You look at all the stuff that Brett Yormark has done since he arrived here. Did I mention he got them a TV deal that saved their ass? Oh, that's right. That's the first thing he did. Brett Yormark has done, you ready? Yeoman's work. That probably didn't work as well as it sounded in my head.
It's okay.
Brett Yormark has done incredible work for this conference. It's time for the conference to win games on the field.
Yeah, you got to pay it back, right? I mean, you got to repay him for the position he's put you in. And,
yes.
And, I'm sitting here stewing on, is it going to be, a down year for the, air quotes, a down year, because on the surface level, I agree with what you said earlier in the show. Like, hey, BYU is probably going to take a step back. Like, you got some questions about these different programs. But then I'm like, well, if BYU, let's say that BYU is 8 or 9 wins and they take a step back, and that's where they wind up. Tech's obviously going to, everyone assumes they're going to compete for the conference. Arizona State, let's say they take a slight step back there at 8 wins, and then from there, let's say TCU gains a game, they finish around that 8-9 win mark, and then let's say that Oak State is 7-win good. Utah is, you look at Utah's schedule, they've got a chance to be 10-win good, So I look at this conference and I say, are they actually going to take a step back? Or is it going to be a down year? Because I'm not sure that when it's all said and done, it will be a down year. And deals like this deal with PayPal help to build momentum from a media perspective in the conference. So, this comes out today. You have a decent draft last night for basketball. Now we can kind of parlay things into fall camp as we work into that. Like I look at the conference and I say, yeah, on paper, maybe it looks like a couple of teams are going to take a step back, but 8-9 wins is still very quality. And yeah, maybe it's not college football playoff good, but if you've got 3 teams that are college football playoff good and you've got 5 more that are, 7 to 9 win good, that's a good conference. That to me is improvement over last year where you had 2 super underperforming teams that dominated the conference. And
you need to put multiple teams in the college
football. But they're not
going
to do that, dude. That's not their conference, man.
Then this is a bad year. That's a bad year. But how do you argue with that?
Because
the ACC put multiple teams in the college football playoff last year, and that's not exactly a deep year.
And they only had that happen because of the format of the college football playoff, which is being changed to prevent it from happening.
I don't disagree with that, but the candies and nuts, right? And that didn't include Florida State, who would have one of the worst years they've had. I'm telling you right now, the bar for good year for the Big 12 is multiple teams in the college football playoff. It's time that this conference take a big step forward. You've got everything you need except winning football games. You've got Deion in Colorado, who draw massive TV audiences and sell out wherever they go. You've got a resurgent BYU. You've got a resurgent Utah program. You've got an Arizona State program that seemingly has the hero they deserve in Kenny Dillingham, right? You got to put multiple teams in the college football playoff. At some point, I would hope that Oak State would get their head out of their ass and fire the mullet. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. You have got to, if Joey McGuire doesn't go to the college football playoff, am I the only one who thinks that would be shocking? That would be stunning to me. If Texas Tech and Joey McGuire don't win 10, 11, or 12 games, are you not playing one of the biggest early season games in all of college football with Texas Tech and Utah? Oh, wait, that's right. You're not, because nobody across the country cares about that game. Nobody cares because Utah was one of the most disappointing teams in college football last year. So, I guess I could be wrong, but my opinion is you got to put multiple teams in the college football playoff or you are irrelevant. And you might be irrelevant in football right now. I don't know. You didn't have a banger year in stick and ball sports.
Yeah.
Didn't have a banger year in basketball, and that you didn't win a national championship.
You won a national championship in softball, so there is that.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You at least had that, but I would agree. I would agree across the board. Yeah, it wasn't a great athletic year, no doubt. But I don't know. I think that it's hard to go from one team in to multiple teams in. I think multiple teams in to me means you're getting like 3-ish in. And, 2 wins better than 1 in, but, 3 to me would be a big improvement, but I don't know. I'm looking at a conference that loses Texas and Oklahoma, doesn't really bounce back from that through the expansion situation.
Do you bounce back at all?
Yeah.
Right?
Do you bounce back at all?
How.
Right. So I guess it's just, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I also think that we have to have at least some perspective that based off of last year, a better year this year is likely to happen.
Well, you got to start stroking, guys. That's what I think. And I'm only saying that because golf's on in the background. But my point is,
honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
Yeah, you got to start stroking guys.
You got to get stroked.
And if that's Gundy, and I should say that's what I
you just have to start, stroking guys.
You got to start firing guys. You got to start firing Mike Gundy. You got to start firing Dave Aranda. I think Sonny Dykes is on a must-win year. He has got to compete for a conference championship. I think Sonny Dykes. We're out of here. You have got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. What else do you need, dude? Because if you didn't build depth around that quarterback, that's not the quarterback's fault. And if you don't, it's no longer any good. And this is the problem with Oak State fans. Oh, we're going to a bowl game this year. Congratulations. That sucks. I'm not in it. And nobody that's paying $20.5 million minimum to their football players is in this to go to the pool and weed eater bowl.
I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Right? I would hope so. Okay, which Big 12 coaches have hot seats and why? Again, you guys, not to be redundant, if you're going to use the tip jar, I'm begging you.
Please.
And I know this is our first hour and a half of doing it, but we're trying to raise money for homeless kids to have the basic necessities they need for school. It is the Advocates partnered with a homeless shelter called The Road Home. 100% of your donations on Venmo go right to homeless kids. 100%. Send your tip jars, and it's money right out of our pocket. Send your tip jars to the Advocates on Venmo. Advocates donations. One person today will win a $50 Amazon gift card.
And right now that person's Maury.
Because Maury's had the best memo sections. There's no doubt about that. But you guys, we're trying to raise $250 today. On this show that we've raised $2,000 in a day. We are $210 away from that. So I ask you, and David, I really appreciate you tipping us. But I ask you guys, if you want to leave a tip, if you want to help homeless kids have the basic necessities they need to go to school this fall, that's a month away. Kids are going back to school in a month.
How? Make
your donations on Venmo. Advocates donations on Venmo. $5, $10, $1 million, whatever you have. If it's in your wallet and in your heart, please consider making a donation. What you write in the memo section is what will determine the winner. And right now, Maury Alvarez has it by a lot. So get after it. As far as who's on the hot seats, I don't think there's any doubt Kyle Whittingham's seat is probably warm.
He will, in my opinion, never be fired. He will be the guy that's
you won't have to fire him.
Yeah, he'll resign.
You won't have to fire him.
Yeah.
He knows that, and we know that. I don't think there's any doubt that Satterfield at Cincinnati has to show a pulse. Willie Fritz at Houston has to continue to improve that program.
Yeah.
Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
I think if Dave Aranda, I don't know how Dave Aranda is not fired.
Yeah. See, this is where the question of who's on a hot seat and who's not gets murky, because Dave's ass would have been fired already if it was me. He wouldn't even been there last year, but he was there and they had a decent season. And, so it's like in reality, whose seat is hot? I'm not convinced his seat is actually hot. It'd be hot if it was me, though.
You don't think he's hot?
Well, dude, this is a family program. Okay.
Do you always
stay hard?
Can you just be normal for 5 minutes?
What?
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
No, I have real questions about how seriously they're taking winning football games at Baylor. He's had bad seasons recently, like real bad, uncompetitive seasons, and then had a decent season last year, and they didn't do anything with it. So, but sure, throw him in. Okay, so yeah, Scott Satterfield, Willie Fritz, certainly Joey.
Brett Brennan at Arizona.
Brett Brennan, it's a little too early in the process. I think this is definitely going to be a down year for them. Lost some talent,
Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati.
Yeah, Scott Satterfield's hot.
Deion Sanders at Colorado.
No, he's got 5 years of terrible football.
What about Joey McGuire at Texas Tech? I don't get the general idea. But if this cat doesn't win, what if they win 7 games?
He should be fired. He should be fired.
And Lubbock, let me hear from you, because I know we have a huge Texas contingent and a lot of Red Raider fans on this show. If your guy wins 7 games, does he keep his job?
The bar should be 10 games in Lubbock. 10, less than 10, you're fired.
Willie Fritz at Houston.
No.
You don't think he's on his?
No, they were a little better last year. They weren't good, but they were a little better.
Lance Leipold to Kansas.
No,
not yet.
And they wrecked people's seasons last year, finishing their season.
Sonny Dykes at TCU.
Yes.
I would agree.
You got it's not about, in my opinion, at TCU, it's not about the offense anymore. It's about the defense.
Chris Kleiman at K-State. I don't think it's warm, but they're standing at the outlet on the wall ready to plug in the seat heater. I mean, I think he has to compete for a conference championship. And I mean,
I don't know if he's got the quarterback to do it, dude.
I would agree with that. But I think guys like Matt Campbell, Kyle Whittingham, I don't know. I think Kyle Whittingham's the best coach in this league. I don't think it's close.
And I don't think his seat is hot. I think when you do what you did to the program, and you did that without having to be asked to do it, I think that kind of speaks for itself.
If you do not contend for the conference championship this year, A, I'd be shocked, and B, I think there's a chance that he may not coach another game. I think he may retire because Kyle Whittingham is not somebody that's used to losing.
Yeah.
You know, wow, look at that. UW fan Jim. Holy cow. A member for 23 months.
Excited.
Jimbo, where you been?
How's Jim Romadunze doing?
Good to see you. He's doing really well. Good to see you, Jim. Hope you are well. Stadium guy James, Texas Tech should win 10 easily. Winning 10 games is not easy. Their schedule does not. What's the right way to say this? Their schedule does not strike fear into the hearts of football men. Arkansas Pine Bluff, 1. Kent State, 2. Oregon State, 3. They're going to lose at Utah. They're going to beat Houston for 4. They're going to beat Kansas for 5. They're going to lose at Arizona State. They're going to beat Oak State for 6. K-State at K-State. I'll give it to K-State. They'll beat BYU. They'll beat UCF for 8. And they'll beat West Virginia for 9. I don't think they'll easily win 10. Going to Manhattan is not easy. Going to Tempe is not easy. Going to Salt Lake City is not easy. I could very easily see them struggling with Houston. Houston's not an easy place to go. Easy's not what I would say. The Big Lubbock. The bar in the LBK is Arlington. Unfortunately, 7-5 will not get it. Joey fired. 5-7 might. If 7-5 doesn't get Joey fired with this roster, you're never going to fire him. Do you know how much money they've spent on softball there? What did softball do this year, Jake, at Texas Tech?
Yeah, pretty well. National championship.
Joey, we spent a bunch of money on football. You finished 7-5? That's a game above 500.
Oh, you mean you were a disappointment?
That's a game above 500. And you don't think that gets him fired?
If it doesn't, it should.
Delaric Q-Ball should be on the hot seat, but he isn't. And Houston coach is not on the hot seat this year. But if they don't improve again, then next year he will be on the hot seat. I would agree with that. I think if Dave Aranda's not on the hot seat, I don't know. That's a guy.
Don't take it seriously. That's my point. Like when Buddy was asking us who's on the hot seat, okay, well, how do you define who's on the hot seat, dude? Because Baylor doesn't take it seriously, in my opinion.
But look at Baylor's schedule. How does Baylor not win 10 games? Auburn at home, you should win that game. At SMU, do you win that game?
Yes.
2. Samford 3. Arizona State in Waco.
You should win that game.
Okay, 4. So at that point, you're 5-0, excuse me. K-State. At home.
At home, you should win that game.
At Oak State.
I want to say you'll lose that game, but I don't trust the Mullets, so you're going to win that game.
So you're 6-0 going to TCU. You're going to lose that game.
I would guess.
At Cincinnati,
To
7-1. UCF, 8-1. Utah, and at Waco.
Loss.
8-2.
Utah's playing for the college football playoff at that point.
Arizona, 9-2. Houston, 10-2. I mean, you're going to default to 10-2 in Waco. Jim Choi. Joey was another successful high school coach with 1 year P4 head coaching gig. Just like Notre Dame tried to with Jerry Faust. Well, but Joey's actually done the job this year. He's portaled, he's recruited, we'll see. Texas Tech will be 12-0. They won't be 12-0. You don't run.
Come on.
Again, I would ask you to be realistic. Realistically, if I was guessing, again, if I'm guessing at what is Texas Tech's record when we get to the last game of the season, when the final gun goes off at West Virginia, they're going to Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State. That's 3. 4, they're going to lose to Utah. They'll win their 4th game at Houston, their 5th game against Kansas. They'll lose at Arizona State. They'll win their 6th game Oak State. They'll lose at K-State. They'll beat BYU in Lubbock. They'll beat UCF in Lubbock, and they'll beat West Virginia in Morgantown. I think they win 9 games.
And I don't disagree with that, but you look at this schedule, and the Kansas game is a bombshell. That's a game that'd be easy to lose.
Yeah, fit between Houston and Arizona State.
I think, yes, BYU has quarterback problems, but they are always a tough fight.
And I think that Kansas game is homecoming. Could be wrong.
So, again, yes, I agree. They should be good. They should be college football playoff good. But will they be? Got to prove it.
And again, I'll ask, is Jake Retzloff the starting quarterback at BYU?
Because if he is, you're losing that game.
You're losing that game if Jake Retzloff is the starter.
And if he's not, you may only win that game by 1 possession.
Yeah. Texas Tech isn't losing to ASU. They could lose in Manhattan, maybe BYU game, but the others are wins. So Arizona State, who everybody says has the best quarterback in the conference. Go look at the preseason rankings. Who's got the best quarterback in the conference? Kenny Dillingham. So you think that defense, which is going to be way better this year than it was last year, and a more diverse offensive scheme that doesn't rely on scat, and it's going to be hotter than hell, you think that's just a gimme win? Oh, there's no doubt.
Sorry, Arizona, dude, that's not a good take.
Arizona State doesn't play soft football. And if we know something about the previous incarnations of Joey Maguire's Red Raiders, they tend to play some soft football at the worst times. Abilene. Let's throw the kitchen sink at Wyo.
Yeah.
To name a few. Yeah, well, Chris, that's Chris Faithful. Yeah, stadium guy curse about to hit Tex right in the nuts.
Dude, you're not even playing with that.
Wow, did Oak State James just curse Texas Tech?
Dude, James, why would you do that, bro?
Because if we remember right, Oak State James has a terrible history of cursing people.
Starting with his wife.
Who he promptly called ugly, and then they got divorced.
Bro.
I think
intramurals, brother.
Although James hasn't been clear about that timeline, so I'm not exactly sure who he's.
They may have been divorced already. I have no idea, but
James said Preston Stone,
stay hard.
He of a left turn,
yeah, clean cut.
Was gonna throttle BYU,
macaque,
and SMU, and
the biggest load that we've seen.
Preston Stone delivered the biggest load BYU had ever seen.
Oh, I win. Google me.
When BYU went to Dallas, just check the front of the SMU jersey. It says Dallas.
Buddy gets paid a lot of money.
Yeah, well, apparently not so much because Preston Stone couldn't throw a rock, let alone a football. So he's dead now. And then it was, oh man, Ollie Gordon's going to New York, Heisman Trophy, greatest quarterback, running back. Oh, that's right, he got a DUI. Well, we're going to have him run some stairs. Everything will be fine. Has anybody heard from Ollie Gordon? Is he done running those stairs yet? Don't forget, it was Brandon Whedon Incarnate at quarterback for Oak State. Yeah, he's dead too. Best wide receiver room in the country. Yeah, never happened.
Some shit happened.
Yeah, our defense is amazing, Monty.
Bro, Utah beat you without a quarterback, bro. Like, how?
And then the coup de grace of James.
And again, we're not even talking junk about Oak State. These are just curses that James has laid out.
And then the coup de grace, the ultimate James curse. You guys, I got to tell you something.
Monty?
Hey, Monty. I got to tell you something. Jake Retzloff is going to be unbelievable.
Smiles and glory holes.
He's about to have a year like nobody's ever seen. You can say that again.
Erroneous.
Dude, shut up. Come on.
He went out of his, oh my God.
Preston Stone's curve wasn't good enough. I had to step up to Retzloff.
And then all of a sudden at Jake's apartment.
Present.
Oh, what happened? Oh, those are the cops at the door.
Oh.
Oak State James strikes again.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, and the thing
Jake
is,
Retzloff is going to Oak State.
Well, Monty, we got the best quarterback room we have ever seen in this IPF.
All right. Make your donations on Venmo. Advocates Donations, which is what Brandon Butler did for $13.20. The sports leader. 2 is better than 1 in who are you, my ex? Exactly. From the Monty Show. If you know, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
2 in is better than 1 in.
Wow. Who are you, my ex? Wow. Wow. Do you understand human beings read these, right?
I think Brandon might have the lead. I don't know how to say that. But he might have the lead with that. And we are now down, let's just call it an even 13.20, to $196.80 is all we need in the next hour and 6 minutes. Let's go. Let's start rolling. We are raising money with the advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business right here. Advocates donations on Venmo. The advocates are working with the Road Home to raise money for homeless kids so they have the basic necessities of going to school. I've talked about this a ton. It's not the nicest backpack. It's not the Jansport backpack, right? It is the basic necessities: clothing, socks, underwear, school supplies, pens, papers, pencils, the basic necessities they need to get an education. This is not where, hey, well, the money's going. No, the money 100% goes to homeless kids to provide what they need to get an education. Because how do you stop the cycle of poverty in a family? A rising tide raises those kids up. That's what your money is doing. Think about it in that sense. And if it's $1, $5, $100, we are $196.80 away from meeting our $250 goal today. And I ask you, we can do it $5 at a time. We can absolutely do it $5 at a time, but it starts with you. And I appreciate everybody who's here. All 1,000 of you or so, 900 of you watching the show right now. Hello to everybody on Twitter. Please feel free. Hook it up. What you need to do is take a screenshot, send it to Jake. Fill out the memo section with your sports take or whatever it is you want to do. Why doesn't Jake wear a fuchsia shirt? If he had, this would be $1 million. Totally down.
I mean, it's fair.
You're inside.
Bro, look at how many views there are, bro.
There are 1,320. I like it. 1,320 viewers. Dude. Let's go. Perfect. Hello to everybody on Facebook. Hello to everybody on Twitter. Hello to everybody on YouTube. If you're listening on our audio podcast, please consider getting on Venmo. Advocates donations on Venmo. Send in your contribution. Take a screenshot of it after you send it and send it to Jake on Instagram. SLC Jake. Coming up an hour from now, we'll give away $150 Amazon gift card. And usually it winds up being 2 or 3 based on who said what and how.
Gonna have to earn it though.
But we need $196.80. That's the number by the end of the show. An hour and 5 minutes to go. It is a worthy cause. It is a tax write-off, and you are helping kids get the education they need to end poverty. Hook it up. The Advocates, The Road Home. Do it on Venmo. Advocates donations. Advocates donations on Venmo. Jim Choi, 900 plus folks watching. Hit the thumbs up button now. Yes, please. That would be amazing. If you are watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. If you're on X, Facebook, Insta, Snapface, Twitter, and TikTok, come on over to YouTube, or just get on Google and search The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show, and you'll see our YouTube channel comes right up. We're SEO kings. A better defense doesn't mean elite. I would agree with that. I would agree.
Yeah, but 55 points from your offense and a decent defense does.
Yeah. Texas Tech has never had an elite defense and never will. I don't know. They've got some studs. So, Stadium Guy James, considering Oak State lost 2 QBs in the portal, it would make sense if Jake Carr went to Oak
Dude,
State.
Stop. You keep rolling out these curses, bro.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But James.
Brother.
Hoss Hengy, bro.
Yeah, what happened, dude?
Hoss Hengy. That's the other curse. Is Oak State James says that Hoss Hengy is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner.
My bad.
He is going to be Oak State's Tom Brady. I believe the exact quote was, Joe Montana's got nothing on Hoss Hengy. James said all of that, never. Oak State James, I just hit the like button. I'm sorry. How is my comment not in the running? I need an Amazon card for books.
Okay, let's review. Let's go to video review.
Okay. Monty Kids, UCF tried to pay me to be a fan, but TCU gave me the pro rata I deserve, and a hot wife included, so I had to turn the Knights down.
Instantly pivot into Brandon Butler's.
This is way better. Number one, it's 1320, which is a reference to the old 1320K fan.
Right.
Now it's $13.20. You gave $20, and I really appreciate that. Maury Alvarez, though, Monty Show Kids, it's like the NES game. It's like the NES game cartridge. You need to shake it, blow in it, and spank it on the back. Now that's quality memo section on Venmo.
Quality material, dude. That is well done.
I think that's the one that's in the lead.
Yeah, that's really well done.
I said,
dude.
You don't need to do a huge dollar amount. We need $196.80. Every penny you can contribute goes directly to homeless kids.
Now, listen, if you want to be the hero, do it. I mean, we'll take it. But,
Yeah. Stadium Guy James. Zane will start at Oak State. But what about Hoss Hengy?
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Whedon's got nothing on Hoss Hengy.
But now, let me tell you what now.
They will use Hengy like they used J.W. Walsh, a set of plays for a running QB. But that's not what you said. You said Hoss Hengy was going to be amazing.
Yeah. Heisman Trophy candidates don't need set plays, dude.
And we told you TCU doesn't let quarterbacks go who are amazing. But,
bruh,
pause, bro. Pause. Exactly
Yeah.
right. Brandon Big Pontiff says, bring it casuals. You have no idea what a difference it means, especially in the current environment, you guys.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Raising money for homeless kids it's what we do on this show. And having been a part of food delivery and having been a part of, like, back in my K-Fan days, the work that we did with the road home, you have no idea what it means to these kids when you go there and you see it. And we used to go to the road homes facility and just talk to people and spend time with them. And it means the world to them when you can walk up to a kid who doesn't have nice clothes and you can say, hey, let's go shopping, or here's some clothes that fit you, and they're new. How long do you think it's been since that kid had new pants?
Dude, maybe never, honestly.
How long do you think it's been since that kid had like a real backpack? And you start looking at the things and the great people, Jennifer Young at the Advocates, talking about the road home currently houses 200 homeless kids. There are 200 homeless kids How many do you think are in your community? How many of those kids will have clothing or the basic necessities, right? Each child will receive a new backpack, shoes, clothing, and a hygiene kit. And I think some people thought I was being dramatic. Do you know what it's like to go to school when you don't have a toothbrush and toothpaste? Do you know what it's like to go to school as a 15-year-old kid who doesn't have the money and doesn't have the means to have deodorant? Do you know how difficult that is? They get a hygiene kit. You guys can make a difference, man. If we raise $250 today, advocates donations on Venmo, 100% of your donations go to homeless kids. It's huge, man. It makes a huge difference. Like, I can't tell you the number of, and I'm sure that there's, by the odds and the numbers, there's parents watching this show right now who don't have the money they need to provide for their kids. And I just can't tell you the pressure and the pain that those parents feel every night when they're not sleeping because they're thinking about how they're going to provide for their kids, or, hey, are we going to be homeless? It is the 26th of June. We don't have the rent money. Again, are we going to be homeless? And you got to tell your kids they're homeless. You don't know where you're sleeping tonight. We're sleeping in the car, in a park. We can make a difference, folks. All you have to do is get on Venmo, Advocates Donations. Advocates Donations, $5, $1 million, whatever you have, let's make it happen. Gumby says, pause, bro. Exactly right. James, you're not in the running, just like all of Penn State who just can't stop coming in a little behind.
Bro, dude. Brother.
If James...
Brother. Dude, you did not just make that joke.
We've had some jokes on this show. I'm blushing over that. If James wants a gift card, he needs to call the show again.
Facts. He set a new bar, dude.
James will never call the show again. I got to go to the rectory.
Well, 6 o'clock class, Monty.
I got to be in the rectory. I'm ready for Gundy to be on the analyst desk. Put Kyle Whittingham on there and see how grouchy the grandpas can get. Might be. Mike Chase, thanks, Monty, for doing this for the kids. It means a lot to them. We adopted our kids out of a bad situation. So me and my wife, thank you for doing this. Well, I can't tell you the gratitude that I wake up with every day. And Mrs. Monty and I talk about this. We've been through in our marriage 9/11, multiple housing crashes, including 2008. We've been through COVID. We've been through all this crazy stuff. We've always made our mortgage payment. We have always had we never had to worry about this, but we've always been surrounded by people. When we lived in LA, we knew people that were struggling. You know, like we have so much. We have so much. I teach a lot of kids we are raising money for, and getting a new backpack and some new clothes makes more difference than you can possibly imagine, don't it? It really does. It really does. Paxton says, caught the preaching hour. Awesome. Well, I'm not trying to be preachy, man. Like, we take this really seriously. We take this really seriously.
I don't know. Is he being facetious or not? Does he have another comment there?
He just said, thanks, Monty. I'm not trying to be preachy, you guys. I'm truly not. Is anyone else having trouble logging into Venmo? Oh, no. Is Venmo down? Look at your Venmo stream, Jake.
I don't think it is, but I'll check.
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not. I really do hope not. All right. While you donate on Venmo, Advocates Donations, let's talk about the Lakers and Austin Reeves. How concerned are you guys about, well, and maybe you're not concerned. The Lakers offered Austin Reeves a 4-year, $89 million extension. He turned it down. And immediately people are like, oh, he's smart. He's sick of LeBron and LeCap. No. Austin Reeves turned that extension down because he will be eligible for a $250 million extension over the next summer, a year from now. Austin Reeves will be one of the most sought-after free agents in the entire NBA. He, according to sources, Shams and others, his desire is to stay with the Lakers. But this is also a massive trade chip for the Lakers. On the good side and the bad side, he's an expiring contract. He's a young player, and he is eligible for an affordable extension a year from now. So if you trade him to Boston for, I don't know, Jaylen Brown, he's a lot more valuable now because Boston has salary cap flexibility, and he offers them even more salary cap flexibility. But, Jake, I have a real problem believing Austin Reeves ever wears another uniform other than the Lakers, at least as it relates to this extension.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's difficult is that, Reeves obviously wants to be paid what he's, in my opinion, has earned. And, the hard part as usual is that, they can give him an extension right now, but if he waits until next summer, I believe it is, he's eligible for a max. And obviously he's turned down his option, is going to try to hit free agency. So I think that the hard part is going to be that Austin Reeves has clear value. He is a clear trade chip for the Lakers, but clearly one of their most important contributors. And so the question is, how do you do what Boston's doing or what any of these other teams are doing, where you're able to cut salary, cut things back, give yourself more room against that apron, while also retaining the Austin Reeves of the world? Because I think that's the biggest challenge right now for the Lakers. Yeah. And obviously, and I keep saying this, but these teams, and I love the Lakers, but this is the hell they find themselves in. You keep trading all your picks and leveraging your future for now. You either have to work with what you have and develop prospects and get the most out of them the way the Warriors did, or you're gonna have to be bad. Like that's your two options. Or you're gonna have to trade a big name. Like you can't have it both ways. That's what's hard.
Yeah, I think he stays in LA unless they trade him, because he loves being a Laker, dude. He is. Austin Reeves is also that new cut of human that he's got, like he's doing YouTube golf and he's out here playing in a bunch of golf tournaments this summer and still working on his game. And like, he really is somebody that when you look at the new age of NBA player, he's that guy. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he, at the end of the day, how he matriculates into, does he ever become a superstar? I think that's a big question. Paxton, I'm not being a smartass. I really appreciate it. My apologies. Monty, I wasn't being a smartass. I actually enjoy you talking about these topics. So I'm it's good. It's absolutely good. You're gold, dude. And I appreciate you saying that. Everybody's still struggling in La La Land. I don't think they're struggling. I think you look at the Lakers. I think they're trying to figure out how to add another star. They're trying to figure out, like, I don't think, and I don't know what you guys think, I don't think LeBron and Luka are enough to win a championship.
No, Luka's defense is not good enough.
I don't think there's any way that's good enough. If I were the Lakers and I could trade Luka for Jaylen, I would do that in a second. If Boston wants Luka, please help me. Now, does LeBron and Jaylen win a championship? No, probably not. Does LeBron, Jaylen, and a better Austin Reeves? I think they compete, but does that win a championship? I'm not convinced it does.
Yeah, I think that's difficult. I think, as we found out this year, your supporting cast is everything. I think that the Pacers only got as far as they did because of the supporting cast, and I'm not even saying post Achilles tear. I'm saying leading up to it. I mean, there were a lot of nights where, you had, Benedict Mathurin going off for 25 to get you over the hump. Like you had role players that contributed. And I think that's one of the biggest problems for the Lakers is that, whether it's Rui Hachimura, whoever you want to point to, you have these guys that, yes, maybe are names, but how consistent are they? Do they make the play you need them to make every time? Like, I feel like it took Dorian Finney-Smith probably 15 games to really, assimilate into this team and this offense and really find his way. And once he found his rhythm, he was really good for them. But it just takes time. And so that's why I say, like, you can't expect a 40-year-old LeBron James to come out here and play 35 plus a night and give you 25 plus a night, for 82 games. That's just not what today's league is about. And I'm still wondering, what of Paul George? What of Lauri Markkanen? What of, some of these other bigger names, secondary stars, if you will, that could help you win a championship. And that's where I say, like, it's all cool that we want to joke around and have fun with Ace Bailey and the Utah Jazz, but at some point they're going to have to make a move to get better. They're one of the few teams in the league that has ammunition to do it. Will they actually do something? And that's where, to the Lakers' point, the Lakers and Jazz can get together. They could court an Eastern Conference team, because there's one thing we all know. The East is wide open, and that's why I think you see the Hawks getting so aggressive. I'm a little surprised the Cavs have been as quiet as they've been.
Yeah, the Knicks.
Even Detroit. I mean, I think Detroit is a team that's been improving. I think Cade Cunningham is capable of being a real problem in the playoffs.
Gatorade.
And so that's what I'm saying. I just think that there are so many different avenues to go down. As usual in the NBA, it comes down to philosophy. My philosophy has always been you need 2 stars and then a great cast of role players. And those role players don't have to be, $10 million guys. I mean, you can have, $7-8 million guy give you 10 points a night, but really bust his ass on defense. And that potentially could be what puts you over the top. So it's hard to say. But no, I would not be trying to part ways with Austin Reeves. I would be trying to figure out how to work him into the situation.
Yep. I'll try again to get the pro rata I deserve. Okay. Well, let's see. Did you do better, Oak State James? Let me take the banner down for $15. Let's go. I like it. We are now down to $182 is what we need in the next 45 minutes. For the kids, breaking news, Pac-12 is now sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. San Diego State will get the pro rata they deserve. Then the Mountain West will be sponsored by Buc-ee's, the new truck stop conference. Is that better than Maury's slap it from the back?
Or Big Pontiff's 2 is better than 1.
We may need to do some voting. We need to do some voting.
A poll, the once in a while poll on the show.
No, not yet. We need if we get $182 in here in the next 45 minutes, I will do a poll and we'll figure something out. Because at some point this week, or during this process in the next month or so, we probably need to do like an Xbox giveaway, or we need to do a football game of your choice or something stupid like that.
Okay.
Though last year people couldn't figure out how to accept tickets when we gave away all those awesome football tickets, which is fine, but it works. So James, you're in the running. No doubt about that. Let's see. Jeff Woodworth played golf yesterday. Man, I sucked. I had a really interesting weekend last weekend. I was in Vail. I shot a 76 and it should have been a 74. Dude, I got one of the worst breaks on a par 3. I was so mad. It was at Eagle Vale. It's this elevated par 3. I think it's 115 yards. I hit a 50-degree wedge. And it went further than I thought it would go. It went about 130. It backspun. Those big zipper backspins where it hits the ground, backspins? It hit the ground, backspun. We all thought it was going to be a hole-in-one. It hit the flag and did a 90-degree right turn and rolled off into the rough. I had a shot for a 73, which at a minimum should have been a 74. It hits the flag stick and rolls into the rough. I wind up shooting a 76. So let me get this right. I've gotten better at my putting spin on the golf ball, and now I'm paying the price for it. Could not believe it. Hit the flag stick on the way into the cup, shot off right into the rough.
Brutal.
And at least the other 3 dudes I was playing with 3 other dudes. And the other dudes we were playing with, one guy was on the ground like, oh my God. And like, how you think it's in the hole, it doesn't go in. He threw himself on the ground in disbelief. Just couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. But I'll tell you what, the putter, that rough was pretty deep. It was, so how there's bunkers on the side of the green on a par 3?
Mm-hmm.
There was a big ass kidney bunker on this green, and it was sitting in the rough between the green and the bunker. So it was on an uphill lie. So I chipped it, and it did not go nearly anywhere. I probably had 11, 12 feet. Drano, baby. That was a clutch putt.
Nice.
Because the 78, 79, 80, is that special anymore?
Yes, that is.
I've broken 80 multiple times this year now. Like, I think that's the third time I've broken 80 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a legitimate 76. Like, there was no best ball being played, like nothing. Like, it was a legitimate and so that was on Friday. On Saturday, I went and played Vail Golf Club. I quite literally could not hit a driver. I must have shanked 6 or 7 drives hard left. It was outrageous. Banging mini driver, banging forward. Again, par 3, my wife saw this one. Par 3, 54 degree from 89 yards, elevated tee box, zippered it, backspin past the hole. Why? Paxton, it's been raining every day. Haven't golfed in 2 weeks. Dude, what I wouldn't give for some rain.
We have some really good fresh donations, by the way.
Oh, we do? Okay, great. Dude, where you're in Texas, Paxton, if you guys, if you're in Oklahoma City tonight, please be careful. If you're in the upper Midwest, Green Bay, Madison, Chicago, please be careful. Detroit's getting a lot of rain. There are just the rain this year in Texas. I don't even know how you describe how wet it's been in Texas. I mean, it has been, and it's not even just the rain, like the torrential storms that have been coming down in Texas have been outrageous. All right, donation time. Let's see. John Blackwater for $10. Okay, you guys, we're down to $172. Great cause, guys. Please don't share any of this with Gloria for all the love, homie. Okay. Gloria Navarro. Now, she pays us generally.
Right.
I love all the Pac-12 fans. She's paying you. Gloria Navarro doesn't even know I'm alive. She doesn't even know who I am.
Right.
Blackwater, I appreciate that. Midweek Coug, $100. Midweek Coug in for $100. We're down there $72. Come on, let's go. $72. Washington State about to run the Pac-12. Jake should start wearing vibrant shirts. Black and blue are boring. Okay, for $100, I mean, I'll turn Jake into electric yellow.
Here's a Salt
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. I'll go to Shields after the show today or this weekend, and I'll get some bright ass polos for you guys.
Cheese and rice.
Gosh.
Do you guys know people here actually say that? Cheese and rice instead of Jesus Christ. Cheese and rice. And his dad.
Right.
Dude. Midweek Coug.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Let's go, you guys. We're 72. So who gets the win? I still think Brandon Butler's close. Although,
listen,
don't give it to Gloria's pretty good.
It's not about the dollar value, although we appreciate the Hyundai. It's not about the dollar value. It's about the memo section.
I like Midweek's Coug on Jake's polo shirts.
Yes.
I really, really like which one was it? The tap from behind. It was Maury number 2. You need to shake it, blow in it, and then spank it on the back. I think that is enduring.
Don't touch me there. That, sir, is my no square.
Although Jake's wardrobe has become quite the bone of contention.
Stay hard
on this show. So you guys, $72. That's all we need. Advocates donations right there. Midweek Coug, you stud. Advocates donations right here. On Venmo. Send a Venmo. Take a screenshot of that Venmo with the memo section. Send that screenshot of your Venmo payment to Jake on Instagram, SLC Jake. Best memo section wins. And I'm going to have you guys vote on it. We're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. We ask you to spend money. We're going to spend money. And it's for a great cause. It is for a great cause. And as usual, you guys are more than welcome. If you win and you want it to go to homeless kids, please feel free. We'll do it. Midweek Coug, who's been a member for 16 months. $100 donation, and he's been a member for 16 months. Palouse Ridge, best golf course, go Cougs. Love it. Big Pun, the problem with Reeves' deal is it's going to kill the Lakers in the CBA. Yes, it is.
It is.
Unless Bron retires and frees up his percentage of the cap. I agree with you. 100%. It's raining in Austin right now. Is it really? Is it really? I'm in the Texas Panhandle, Monty, the very top of Texas. Yes, I know the Panhandle well, my guy. You guys have had some weather, dude. You guys have had some weather. Jim Choi, Oak Quarry, 14th par 3 hole. I lost a dozen balls trying to get on the green. So Jake and I, there's a, oh my God, Thanksgiving Point golf course. I had a really tough round that day. True story real quick. I had a fight with my wife. I was in a bad place. And my irons were terrible to start this season. Let's just be honest. Now they're dialed. That is one thing that ran consistent the last 3 weekends. My irons I am dotting greens. It's amazing. We had a 220-yard par 3 at Thanksgiving Point in some gusting wind. I couldn't hit a 5-iron to save my life. It was so frustrating. So frustrating. Jake, no, get some purple polos. Guy,
dude,
stop.
Again, you are not a TCU fan, dog.
Stop it.
Stop being horny, James, and start being Oak State James, bro.
Spank it on the back.
Yeah, spank it on the back, dude.
No, Jake. Avoid purple and green. Maybe avoid red too. Dude, we're doing an electric green one, no doubt about it. No doubt. Hitting good irons is the key in golf, dude. I say this all the time. My driver is so erratic. When it's dial, so I take a lot of video of my golf swings. As if you follow me on Insta Snapface and TikTok cock.
Stay hard. TikTok cock.
Whatever, it just flows.
Yeah, ask Preston Stone.
Yes. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I post a lot of golf swings. This last Saturday in Vail, my driver swing was straight. I don't know what I was doing. I never do that. I was taking the driver head straight back and coming straight down, and it was heels, shanks. I could not figure it out. We're on the 17th hole. And my wife says, I shank a driver left. She's like, well, all day long, you've been just kind of pulling your arms in. I'm like, you're telling me this now? Sure enough. Long arms in the backswing, shorten the driver backswing, and I hit a 325-yard bomb on a cut. And what did my wife do? She laughed at me. She laughed at me.
You get so mad.
I do. And I wasn't actually going through it that day. We were laughing about it. You want to know who's hitting the golf ball? My wife is hitting 6, and she's never practiced. And this pisses me off to no end. She never practices. She shows up at Vail Golf last weekend, hadn't played in 2 weeks. She's hitting 200-yard drives off the tee with her.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
And then Tigeress Woods, whatever you want to call her. Tigress. Yeah, Justine Thomas up there. She shanks a driver. Hits it like 100 yards. Right down the middle of the fairway.
That's what fucking ticks me to fuck off.
I'm like, okay, I feel better about my life. She rolls up with 200 yards left. I think it was 180 something to the green. What do you think I should hit? I'm like, well, why don't you just hit a 6-iron?
Hit a 6-iron, it's no problem.
I hit my 6-iron 190. She took out that 6-iron. She hit that thing over the green on the fly. I am not kidding you. The rest of the day, irons. That one where I zippered the ball past, she hit a pitching wedge. And my wife does not hit a pitching wedge 100 yards. She hit a pitching wedge like 170 yards. I kid you not. Elevated tee box over the back of the green. And then you know what she does with the 50-degree or the 52-degree Volkey wedge? Chips it right onto the green and into the hole. I give up. I give up. I give up. But, yeah, I give up. What's her email? Sending my swing video now.
You don't always have to be negative.
It's like, well, all day you've just been pulling your arms in. Son of a, like, where have you been? It's the 16th hole.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
And then on the 18th hole, you only had about 290 yards to the end of the fairway. Bro, I pulled out the secret weapon mini driver from PXG. If you're not hitting a mini driver, I don't know what you're doing. I hit a beautiful high cut that must have gone 289.9 yards because it stopped right on the end of the fairway. I had a 5-iron right onto the green, missed the putt by a mile. But it was amazing. That was, yeah. T-Rex arming your swing is a recipe for disaster.
Yes,
when I'm bad, my backswing is short. When I'm dialed, my backswing is long and paced. And Jake, what's your Instagram? SLC Jake. Here's his Instagram, right? Whoa. Right here. SLC Jake _. SLC Jake _. What's that?
We do have a new donation.
We do have a new donation. Yes. Okay. So you guys, we are right now, and I haven't seen the donation yet. $71.80. $72 away. Vulcan Construction for $20. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. You guys, we're $52 away. We are $52 away, you guys. That's unbelievable. $52 to go. $52 to go now. This is a 5-star donation that will end up on Wyoming in 3 years. Exactly right.
Bloody clean, methodical, and thorough.
Who are you, Joey McGuire now? That's awesome. Thank you. You guys were $52 away. $52. That's all we need. $20. Huge right there. Thank you. Huge. The new Volky wedges look sick, you guys. If you're not,
dude, the black finish on the new Volkies, ridiculous.
But I'm telling you, the main reason I play PXG, the Sugar Daddy wedges at PXG, now that, and I know this is crazy, I've been hitting PXG this is my 4th season in PXGs, I think 3rd season in PXGs. I'm finally hitting fairway wedges well. And the key, frankly, is I moved it up in my stance a little bit and I'm hitting down on the ball. The spin control is unbelievable. It's the best wedge. My wife hits Volkies because I had Volkies before I had PXGs. And it's amazing. My wife just asked why Monty is spanking balls. I'm dead. There you go.
Now, we need to talk about memo section etiquette. Is it proper to donate to this cause to promote one's own stuff happening?
Who are we talking about?
Oak State James.
I swear
with his third.
This is the UCF video promotion, isn't it? That's what this has to be. Let's see. Kids, so far we've all heard about people losing their balls and others getting spanked on the back, yet they call me Horny James. Yes. First, my class starts on October 9th. Purple Power. Okay.
Purple Power?
Purple Power. You on the purple drink? Is that what you on that drink? What does Purple Power mean? $10 more is what it means.
Yeah.
Hell yes. $42 to go. You guys. We're on the hunt. $42 to go. Let's go. Okay, where does James rank here? Because that's not nearly as good as my 5-star donation that'll end up a 3-star in Wyoming. And I don't know that that's really nearly as good as please don't share this with Gloria for all the love, homie. And it's certainly not as good as spank it on the back.
Spank it on the back.
I think Maury's still got a slight edge here. I could be wrong, but I think Maury's still got a slight edge. Jeremiah Champion. Well, almost made it the whole show without sending someone a word timeout. Word timeout, James. Did he say spank control is good? Exactly. Sorry. Whoa, what did you? Whoa, comment dump. Whoa. Sorry, sent the wrong pick. The one with the $10 is new.
I know, dude. I got you. Don't worry. Don't you even worry, my guy. I am all over this.
John Blackwelder, sounds like Monty needs to stop playing golf with Mrs. Monty. She's better than I am.
Stop.
What? No, she's not. When that girl hits her driver well, dude. And then the other amazing club was she hit a 3-wood. That I think that's I think your 3-woods, your fairway woods are one of the hardest clubs to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Fairway woods and hybrids, I think, are very difficult to learn. And I think that it's amazing to me that she's doing what she's doing. Okay, yeah. Moria, David Persons first. Okay. Geez Louise.
I can read it if you want.
I teach many of the same kids that we are raising money for, and this kind of thing makes a positive change with students in ways that are unimaginably powerful. Sorry, I couldn't do more. Dude,
$25.
$25 is remarkable.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
We are now down to $17, you guys.
Come on.
$17. Maury Povich. Let's go. Monty Show kids. Monty, we are you swing both ways. Okay. Did that just lose you the competition, Maury?
Monty, we are you swing both ways. Dude, you put so much effort into this graphic only to mess it up in the memo section.
You guys, we're down to $12. Who's it going to be? $12 is what we need. Rather hit a hybrid than a 3 or a 4 iron.
Agreed.
Dude, I am so dialed on my 4 iron. My 4 iron's going legit 230 now. 2 weekends ago at Glenmore, I hit on the 18th hole another round of golf where I could not hit a driver to save my rectum. On the 18th hole, I hit an absolute missile of a drive, about 300 yards. I had 230 something, took out a 4 iron. Out of the left rough, the ball was sitting up on a green that's protected by water and fully slanted, hit it over the green. I love long irons. He says, we all know. Okay.
I know, dude, but here's the deal. Dude, I'm not trying to give you too much problem here.
You can't.
But you got to execute it in the memo section.
You can't.
We know what you meant to say. It's not what you meant to say. It's what you did say.
No.
Now, I have to give you credit, though. That's your 4th donation. I mean, that means
that's
something.
Amazing. Yeah. Giggity. Who's spanking the purple head?
That's what I'm saying, dude. James, bro, come on.
James, you sent that donation. Yeah. You sent that donation from the rectory. I know you did. Purple Power? Yeah, you did.
Bro.
What?
Dude.
Huh? Yeah, you did. You know you did. I know you did. We all know, James. I still love my Big Bertha One-Wood. Yes. Yes. I'm a PXG guy. I'm a big, but somebody asked me if I still hit PXG.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that comment. Yes, I still hit PXG. And I think it is, yes, Paxton. Monty, is PXG really legit? I've always wondered. Dude, it's incredibly legit. And here's what I tell everybody. As somebody who plays 3-4 rounds a week, as somebody who takes golf very seriously, the game changed for me when I got into PXG irons. And now that I am into their players iron, it's gotten even better. I can tell you the Sugar Daddy wedges, it's gotten better. The difference maker with PXG is the Black Ops driver. I'm telling you, I have, when I'm hitting the cut right, when I am swinging my driver well, and I know we all struggle with driver consistency.
Yeah.
But when I hit a high cut. I don't believe in shot shaping. I'm not the guy that's going to tell you, hey, on this hole, you should hit a fade, or you should, I hit a high cut off the driver, 305 to 310 yards when I'm right. That's what I can count on because PXG is consistent. The Black Ops driver is really consistent. It is built for you. The thing about PXG that I think is so important, I understand we all want to go to PGA Superstore and pick out clubs and go play with them. Trust me when I tell you the fitting experience with PXG is a game changer. When you have a shaft that's the right length, when you have the loft corrected for your swing, when you have the right shaft on your irons, not everybody should be swinging metal shafts, right? You shouldn't. A lot of people, maybe you should have graphite on your irons, but that's why you need to go get fitted. And PXG is not charging you $1 million for that fitting. When you get fit, you buy your clubs. It's a one-stop shop. And that fitting is part of the club buying process, where if you go somewhere else, you're going to pay a fitting fee. At PXG, that's not how they do things. You go to somebody, you form a relationship with that person. Like our guy is Garrett Van Dyke. Garrett is the PXG professional fitter in Utah and the mountain region, really. And I can call him right now and say, hey, I'm not able to hit my hybrids real well. He's going to tell me, hey, well, let's try a hosel adjustment. Like, that's what makes PXG great.
Yeah, and we get sent equipment from time to time from other manufacturers, and we're able to kind of, I'm not saying we don't get like whole bags all the time, right? But like we'll get this one individual club here or there, whatever. And recently it's been mini drivers from other manufacturers, and they're good. Absolutely, they're good. They perform. But I think the thing that people don't consider is that, much to your point about the PGA Superstore, when you get sent a club that's just a stock club, like just hey, this is our most popular shaft,
right off the rack,
like just right off the rack, like everything from handle thickness to stiffness of the shaft to
what grip,
how the loft angle, like those things. Like personally for me, it took me a while to figure out how to hit a tailor-made mini driver that we were sent. It took me probably a solid 3 weeks to figure out how to hit it in comparison to hitting PXGs, because I'm fitted for my PXGs and I know how to hit them and know how it should feel.
Yeah,
and it's just a totally different thing.
I'll also tell you, TaylorMade sent us an R7 quad mini driver for Jake to use.
Yeah.
I am of the firm belief the PXG mini driver, it's called the secret weapon, the PXG mini driver, is superior. I hit that club so well. There's so much forgiveness in it. It's actually an engineered piece of equipment, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's what PXG does. They make golf clubs that are fit directly for you. And I could go on and on and on about it, dude. I love it. I absolutely love it. The Natural says I'm looking for a new driver right now, dude. If you don't at least reach out to your PXG fitter in your area, and if you DM me or DM Jake, we can connect you with a PXG fitter. You hit that Black Ops driver. I'm warning you. You hit that Black Ops driver one time, you'll never go back.
Yeah, I would say the Black Ops driver, I've had 2 generations of driver from PXG. The Black Ops driver has more pop, and it is very forgiving. As someone who played baseball, struggles with the slice, it is very forgiving. I will also say that I do feel like when I'm dialed with the Black Ops driver, typically I'll be in the usual range, 290, 310. I did have one when we played at Park City Mountain Resort.
Elevated.
Playing so at like 7,000 feet or whatever like it is, dried out fairways, a lot of rollout, right? I'm not saying I did this on the fly, but we measured it at 360 after the rollout. So, and I play, obviously, when I'm hitting well, it's a fade as well. I can't draw the driver. I'm not that good. But I'm just, my main point is not to say, holy cow, I hit it that far. My main point is, hey, I felt like that was my best drive of the day. And I was like, all right, cool. We'll be 310, like I felt like I got that one good, but it just goes when you really get it.
And it's what makes PXG special. You get fit and then it performs. At the player's iron that we're playing now, it is, I cannot tell you how just how good it is. Their Gen 7 player's iron is, the Gen 7's unbelievable. I think the Gen 6 irons were great. And then I got into their Gen 7 stuff. Forget it. It is so good. And again, I don't mean to wax on the Sugar Daddy wedges.
That's my favorite part of my bag. The wedges are
You need new clubs. You have worn your clubs out. It's amazing how much we play a lot of golf. Chuck B, forget GIR and irons. Got to hit fairways, dude. I have
100%. Dude.
I love my long irons now, though. I've really got my iron swing dialed, and my 4 and 5 irons are absolutely weapons. I hit really tight cut shots with them. Anyway, okay. Jeremiah Champion says, sent my donation, took a bit to figure it out. Okay, on Venmo, make sure you get to Advocates Donations. Jeremiah Champion, for $19, here's that cake money. Oh, boy. He played the cake card.
Dude, that is a great poll, dude.
He played the cake. And officially, by the way, we have crossed the $250.
Let's go, baby.
line.
Here, let me do this for you guys.
Let's go.
Here. And there you go.
Jeremiah Champion gets us there. Brandon Butler, I have shook it, spank it, and blown on it now. I am paying child support. Thanks, Maury. Monty Show kids. See? See? The play on words here. Who's winning?
We have more coming in as well.
We have more coming in as well.
Two more coming in now.
We have 2 more coming in. Okay. I'm telling you, this is going to be.
Oh, boy, we're smashing this thing now.
This is going to be very tight. Who's going to win this? I am, and people are texting me about golf clubs.
What are they saying?
Asking me for phone numbers. I'm telling you, once you guys swing a PXG, you'll never go back. You'll never go back. It is that good. Jairus?
Yes.
For $25. Let's go. For the right length shaft, also just did my own fundraiser for a local food bank, Summer of Steve, self-promotion. Love it, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I really appreciate you guys for giving back to the community. It is the entirety of the world. We have, if you look at our lives, and I know Summer of Steve, everybody else, I know that we feel like we're struggling. If we're struggling, think about somebody who's struggling more than we are. And I ask you every day, wake up and just be grateful. Have some gratitude every single morning.
That is, I apologize. Jairus is Fat Jesus. He rebranded his account.
Let's go. Summer of Steve.
Yes, that's Fat Jesus. My apologies.
Let's go, Fat Jesus. $25. Love it. Love Oak State James number 4 for $15.
I gotta be honest, I don't understand this one.
Lumbus and Las Clemson. Where is Lumbus? I heard Las Clemson has good tacos.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Thank you for the donation. I'm not
even open the window, get some fresh air, man.
I don't.
I love that show.
I don't know what that means, my guy. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that means either.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't know what that means either, but okay. Calford for $100.
Benji, baby. Benji, baby.
Let's go. Calford to homeless kids on the Monty Show. Let's go,
and
Calford.
He worked in some emojis without being banned.
And you won't get filtered.
Nice job.
You won't get filtered. You guys are freaking amazing. Let's go.
Absolutely crushed it,
Let's
bro.
go, Calford.
As
Appreciate
usual.
you guys. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how much it means to us to be able to give back. You guys know I've said this, and if you're just tuning into the show, obviously we are doing a fundraiser today, and we're going to do it all throughout the lead up to back to school. We are partnering with the great folks at the Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. They are working with The Road Home, who does phenomenal work in the homeless community. They are taking 100% of your donations and putting that right back into school supplies. And I mean, you guys, the bare minimums. We're not talking about special stuff. We're talking about each kid getting a backpack with clothes, with school supplies, a hygiene kit. That just, it's so hard for me to even say that, because I think about, well, if they're not getting it from the Advocates, who are they getting it from? And the answer is they're not getting it. So every dollar you guys have donated today, it just makes you guys, I can't tell you, we're at about $10 short of $400. Let that sink in. You've put together $400 today.
Almost twice the goal. Is that right?
We were trying to get $250 today to kick off our campaign. That you've put together $400 essentially. I mean, it's wild to me. It is absolutely wild to me what you guys do, and I just appreciate it so much. Fourth entry, quantity over quality.
No, that's not true. That is not true. That is absolutely, positively not true, bro. Like, we've been pretty clear on this, I think, man.
Your backdrop, the lights make it where it cuts off 3 letters on Dallas.
Okay, hold on. Let's review. Right here, just above the red circle, just off to the right there. Dallas is spelled Dallas. So that would be 2 letters.
Lumbus and Las Clemson. Where is Lumbus? I heard Las Clemson has good tacos.
Oh, I see what he means.
Las Clemson.
Okay, so right here, right above Lumbus.
Okay. Hey, man.
You know, I don't know.
The naturals like WTF, and I'm like, WTF.
I don't know.
What happened? I don't know. Big ups, Calford. 69 bear and tree emoji here. Let's go. Okie Light. James, were you drinking at the airport bar? Exactly right.
You see, I'm a guy of simple
Exactly
taste.
right. Why is it only Bieber emojis get you sent to YouTube jail? Seems like a conspiracy. You know, I'm saying, and the worst part is that then when you get out of YouTube jail, dude, you don't look good.
Oh, fucking God.
Jeff, you know what I'm saying? You don't look good. The lights block the letters on our screen, but still, exactly.
Yeah, like I appreciate the effort, dude. But first of all, I want to just set the record straight. It is not quantity over quality.
No, it is not.
You could have one entry with epic quality and you would win.
James on that leafy green again, apparently. James spent too much time in the villages while in Florida. Anytime we can get a villages reference, I am here for. I need a Florida run. My wife is going to Hawaii, or not Hawaii. My mother-in-law is taking all of her kids on this one extravagant vacation. Each one. My wife is going on a river cruise. I believe she's going to like Italy,
where they got pizza and stuff.
I'm just stuck up in here with Jake.
Yeah. What are you saying? That's not good enough.
Maybe
dude?
we should do a guys trip.
That's not good enough.
We should do a guys. Well, you're going to be otherwise occupied. But
when is this?
I asked Jake to go to Colorado on a guys trip. He said no. Okay.
When is this happening?
It's not clearly.
No, the Brits trip.
October.
Oh, well, that's, yeah, okay.
You know, I only throw quality. James been hanging with BDM and his Magic Victor lettuce.
Standards don't matter.
His Magic Victor lettuce. Has that gotten us any videos lately? Has that? I'm a little surprised that there he is right there.
Hey, player. Your Chicago Bulls at number 12. John Stockton's number. They said, fuck this. Victor's the way. We're taking the best freshman available.
Whatever that noise is in the background.
And you're going to Paris with your wonderful smoke show wife, Mrs. Monty. You're going to take me later and come back to Paris. And you're going to say, Victor's the way, Victor's the way.
No, I'm not.
Or then you're going to demand that I get more Buffalo Bills stuff.
Victor's the
I'm
way.
just humbly asking for 2 Buffalo Bills.
Humbly.
Long sleeve red 3X. Well, actually, look at me. I'm losing a lot of weight.
You know.
But it's all good. the Chicago Bulls. I love them. They were good to me last year. They're knowing how to win now. They took the best freshman available. Bye.
Bye.
Victor's the way.
Oh, wait, there's more. Hello?
Hello.
Hello? What?
Um.
What happened? That video doesn't want to play. Oh, no. Are we going to be...
Fucking A.
That video doesn't...
Hello.
Oh, here we go. No. Is there a Big Daddy moratorium on Insta Snap Face?
Oh, man, dude.
Maybe I need to close the Insta Snap Face. We have to have Big Daddy magic videos.
Right.
Whoa. If we don't have Big Daddy
A
magic
necessary
videos,
contribution.
God.
It's probably only like 2 seconds. It's probably not good.
No, it's not. It's 1 minute and 6 seconds. Oh, sorry, guys. I wanted to play you more Big Daddy magic, but that's not. Yeah, I mean, there's Big Daddy's the way. That's right.
Big Daddy's the way.
I'm spending my kids' school supply money on their Florida trip next month, which is how we should be doing it, right? James and Maury can host the showgram while Jack and Marty are on their trip. We might do that. Maybe we do that, right? Maybe we do that. Jeremiah Champion, I can't even. Exactly. Hey, Joseph Harper, I lost again on Prize Picks today. I'm on a gnarly bender of losses on Prize Picks. I'm in Pac-12 country. Unfortunately, my phone and Venmo can't make a deal, so here's $5 for the kids.
Wow.
Let's go.
More donations as well, just saying.
Listening to the show made my flight so much bearable. We're about to land DFW. Let's go, buddy. I'm glad you had a safe flight. Not to get ahead of it. Let's hope it ends all's well. It ends well. Maury number 5. Monty Show kids to put us over 400. Let's go.
Attaboy.
Let's go. Midweek Coug number 2. Throwing money around Calford. $20 more. Let's go. You guys. That's
so 30 more.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Boom.
Yeah. Let me just yes. Way to go, you guys. Fantastic. All right. Damn, that's a good one. It is a good one. Who should we give this to?
I think you should do a poll. Let the people decide.
Okay. What should yes?
I mean, I think finalists are I mean, certainly, the Jeremiah Champion cake reference has to be in there. Right.
Well, that's a given.
I mean, just looking at, let's see if I go through some of these.
Start a poll. Okay.
Looking at, so Jeremiah Champion.
Okay. Who should win? Let me put it this way. Who should win the Amazon cake?
Who chipped in the best?
Exactly.
Okay, Jeremiah Champion.
JC.
Yeah. Not Jesus Christ.
No,
the other
Jeremiah
JC.
Champion.
Fat Jesus.
Jesus who's fat.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Maury, certainly.
Certainly Maury.
Certainly. Oak State James on premise alone.
Tap it from the back guy. Okay. And then Oak State James. Oak State James in the Rector E.
And you got to have Brandon Butler in there for his reference to 2 is better than 1.
I can't. It's only 3 options. I can only put 4 options.
Oh, we have 4 already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 1320 reference is the right one. Okay. The poll is active. Go get it.
Go get it. You
so
guys
we're
are
going to
deciding
give away
this today.
We're going to give a $50 Amazon gift card away. You guys, Jesus who is fat has 1 vote. Vote in the poll, you guys. Let's see. All right, for Jesus and JC, Jesus who is fat are tied. Oak State James and the Rectory is 3rd. Tap it from the back guy gets no love in this poll. Now Oak State James is winning. I swear to God,
Dude,
if Oak State
guys,
James
don't
wins.
be stupid, dude.
The
Come
internet's
on.
going to drop if Oak State
Dude,
James
I'll
wins.
literally hit end stream if he wins. I won't do this.
He
again.
is okay. Tap it from the back guy at 31%.
Come on, get involved here. Come on.
Come on. 17 votes now. Oak State James in the rectory is winning. Come on. Let's go. More than that. JC, Jesus Who Is Fat are now in last place. Tap it from the back guy at 32. Oak State James is really going to win this thing.
Come on.
Go and vote.
I'm sorry if you're offended by that.
Dadgummit.
Damn.
If James wins this card to buy books but doesn't buy Fat Jesus's book.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
dude.
I'm saying. I voted for VW. My genius,
Cole Beasley.
My genius wit gets robbed again.
Hey, we can run it back.
Jim Choi, Oak State James got the unusual name. He did. Oak State James running away with it. 43%.
Okay.
There's 90. Okay, wait. There's 92 people watching this show right now on the YouTube side. Of the 1,100 watching the show right now, 92 of you, 28 votes. Come on.
Come on, dude.
Do not let Oak State James win this damn thing. Come on. You cannot do this to me. It's the name. Folk voting for name. It could be. How many accounts does James have?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Is this the minion all over again? Is that what you're accusing us of? Come on.
29 votes, and James has 45% of the vote.
Okay, quick break. Calford's flexing right now in the.
Come on,
quick break here.
Oh wow, Calford with $100.
No, that's Chewy. That's
Chewy Gonzalez with $100.
Yeah, nice, dude. Now go to the donations.
In the Venmo. Okay.
Yeah.
Advocates donations.
Yeah.
Okay. Calford number 2 for $100. Let's go. Calimony to get us to $500.
Go, dude. Wait, so is that 6?
Yes.
With Chewy?
Yes, with Chewy, that's 6. That's incredible, you guys. That is
nice job, guys.
Yeah,
seriously,
that is incredible. You guys are awesome. That is unbelievable. Really appreciate that.
Okay.
Really, really appreciate that so much. Look at you, Chewy. Unbelievable, you guys.
What does this say? What did it say?
It says, Monty kids, let's choke homelessness out like Shannon Sharp.
Bro, damn. Bro.
Now you come in with that after I put the poll up.
You fucking donkey.
James, I think James won this thing.
Should we run it again?
It's tap it from the back guy only is down 6. You guys, please start voting for tap it from the back guy.
Yeah, the poll and start a new one.
Come on. Hey, what? All of a sudden our internet's about to drop out. I don't understand it.
I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
Come on. You got to get in here and vote for tap it from the back guy. Do I have to make an executive decision? I'll do it. Dadgummit.
Bro.
I guess Oak State, the less than a minute left. Somebody swoop in here. Please. It's only a couple of votes. It is only a couple of votes. You guys aren't willing to take it from Oak State James. I've heard that about you.
Okay, dude, chill. This is a family program, bro. Damn.
Well, the clock has struck 6. And Oak State James has won the $50 Amazon gift card. 38% to 33%. Oak State James in the rectory has won a $50 Amazon gift card. Tap it. Jim Choi, Shannon Sharp having some freak-offs. Oak State James begging, come on, please, I need more books. Oh, my God. Change my vote to Calford or Chewy or me or anyone but James. Look, now we've gotten away from it. I regret voting for him. Exactly. Come on, man. If James wins, this show will be cursed. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Yes, it is. Because he won the poll. Damn it. You guys got to vote, dude. 36 out of 90? Be better.
Black smoke. We need to vote again. Oh, the stadium got James midweek.
Okay,
I actually like
do
Washington
this.
State Stadium.
One more poll. Should we vote again? Just make a poll. Should we vote again? Yes or no?
No, I'm not taking it away from James. James tried, as terrible as they were. That is why democracy fails. That's what it is.
Come on.
This show is now cursed. Hambus Oak State Jamis.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Like what?
Exactly right. That is, I mean,
right.
what else do I say?
Yeah, I'll send it to him. All right.
Amazing show, you guys. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the advocates and homeless kids. We'll do it again next week. I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.